Wonder why that one didn't go through. Oh, okay. How to resend it? Okay. I wanted to go live early because I wanted to watch this Erica video. And let's change that back while we wait, because President Trump is actually going to be greeting the Prime Minister. So that's not until like 10:20 or 10:30 a.m. So we still have 21 minutes left of that to wait. So we'll just watch this while we're waiting. And if you're new to my stream, please subscribe, comment, and like, and share my content so we can get more amazing people to discover my channel and interact and all that good stuff. Oh, while I'm streaming too, you can put your phone on the QR, and that is another way to donate, which I am very grateful for. Or if I'm not streaming, just go to my link, which is in my bio on my YouTube. But let's watch this. This is her telling us how she found out Charlie was shot.
He lived for those moments when he just walked down and was throwing the hats, and students, he loved Gen Z and young people. And there's just this sea of endless crowds of people. You couldn't even see the end. He was throwing out hats, and then it's just, yeah, still processing it.
Sadly, we just started getting word just a couple of moments ago that Charlie Kirk has been shot.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
Was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I have my phone and I see the video come in of him flinging out the hats. And I said, Mom, look, it started. So we saw the hats being flung. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. I moved my mom, I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me. He called me within seconds.
I called Erica. I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot, get the kids. Get security, get the kids, he's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center, just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot. Called our security. Yeah. Unbelievable nightmare.
The communications director of Turning Point USA has asked our team to give a moment of silence and prayer. And so we are going to do that right now. We're going to pause and offer our prayer. We hope you join along. However, and to whomever you pray, I hope in this moment that you can pray for Charlie Kirk.
There was a moment there where people thought Charlie would survive.
Mm-hmm. There were so many things going on at that one moment. It was so hard to actually know and hear what was going on because you're getting phone calls in and out, and hindsight, the way the bullet hit him, he died instantaneously.
He was pronounced dead.
He died on the scene. But I'm so glad he didn't suffer. Excuse me. I'm so glad he didn't suffer. No one deserves to suffer. But him of all people. So that's, you know, he literally blinked and probably thought he was raptured and looked around and was like, where's everybody else? He blinked and he was with the Lord.
And you wanted to see Charlie immediately and came up. Take us through that.
We landed in Utah, went straight to the hospital. When you walked in, everyone was just, it was a scene from just a horror movie. Everyone is so rattled to the core. Officers, law enforcement, hospital workers, our team, everyone is just shaken. And we get into the room. One of the law enforcement guys comes in. He's very sweet, but what do you say to someone whose husband just was assassinated so publicly? I said, you know, I've been doing this for 30-some years. He said, I will never tell you that you cannot see your husband. He said, but I, in my professional opinion, think that you should wait to see him once he's at the mortuary. Because I don't think you want to see him like this. The room got quiet because half the room knew it's probably a good idea. And the other half of the room was like, there is no way she's listening to you right now. And I responded back to him and I said, with all due respect, sir, I said, I want to see what they did to my husband. And I want to give him a kiss because I didn't get to give him a kiss this morning. And I said the same thing to the doctor. When the doctor came in, I said, I want to see my husband. He said, I'll make sure that happens. And I did. And I got to see him. And when we walked into that room, he still looks so alive. I mean, because he just, and I'm just so glad I saw him because you know this when you see someone pass at the mortuary. They never look the same when they're at the mortuary. They have this awful makeup and they're cold, and he was still warm and his eyes were slightly open. But you know what was so powerful, Jesse? He had this smirk on his face. It was so sweet. He had this smirk on his face where it meant three things to me. First, that he died doing what he loved. The second was that he was at peace. And I gave him a kiss. Gave him a kiss. Before I left the room, which was one of the hardest moments of my life, was leaving him in that room. Excuse me. I looked at him and I thought to myself, that smirk to me is that look of you thought you could stop what I've built. You thought that you could end this vision, this movement, this revival. You thought you could do that by murdering me. You got my body. You didn't get my soul.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
By that time, the video was everywhere. How do you process that?
I never saw the video. I never will see it. I never want to see it. There's certain things you see in your life that you can never unsee. There's certain things you see in your life that mark your soul forever. I don't want my husband's public assassination to be something I ever see. I don't want my kids to ever see that. And for people who actually enjoy watching that, which is quite literally sick, what if that was your father? Or your brother, or your sister? There's a perspective shift there. We're human. Life is fragile.
Yes.
And there is so much beauty in this world. Why would you waste any portion of your life looking at something so evil?
Charlie was answering a question about trans violence when he was murdered. Do you think that was a coincidence?
I don't believe in coincidences.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected, I trust our team.
There's other theories swirling around about Charlie's assassination.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
When everything happened, my phone died and became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end. I've intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point. And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them, how does this happen? How does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to relive that every single day. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die from cancer. He was assassinated. And the difference between this and previous assassinations in this country is there was no social media. There was no AI. I can't tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider and think about whatever you put online, because it's going to impact his kids in the future. I don't want my kids to go on the internet one day when they're older and see things that...
Insurance or not, GoodRx is the winning hand.
We're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
Do you feel safe?
I do. What are they going to threaten me with? Going to heaven sooner to be with my husband? And I don't say that to be reckless. I do not. I do not say that because I'm out in the streets like, here I am, come find me. And it's not at all. It's a fearlessness that's rooted in the understanding that I will have my day and my time, whenever that is. When the Lord knows that I've completed my mission. And I'm not afraid. Charlie wasn't afraid either. We never lived in fear. If we did, we wouldn't get anything done. And I can't help run alongside this mission of Turning Point USA and raise my babies with fear. I can't. That's not a life to live for anybody.
What's the hardest part of your day?
The nighttime, always.
8 more minutes left.
I'll tell him about my day. I talk to him all the time. But the nights are the hardest, being in a bed by yourself.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Rolling over, trying to goodnight kiss that's not there. You know, it's, and anyone who's a widow knows what that means. How painful that is. Excuse me. It's so easy to take the little things for granted, but you know what's so interesting? I was thinking about this the other day. It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. I think it's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you? Because God is so good and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets, and I think that that's why processing this for me is probably different than most, because people say, how can you do all what you do? And it's because I loved and still love Charlie.
Did you watch the news after the assassination? Because there were some people saying that Charlie deserved to die. Mm-hmm. Charlie had it coming.
There's so much beauty in life. I don't know why you would waste your time saying somebody deserves to be publicly executed in front of everyone. That's just, why would you say that? Again, that could have been your parent, your spouse, your loved one. You think it's funny until it's someone you love? I would just ask them to really reassess their priorities in life if they get a high off of watching someone be murdered.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. Mm-hmm. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
Same thing I told Sinclair. They asked, I haven't really told anybody this, so they asked, do you want Jimmy to give you an apology? Do you want to be on his show? How can we make it right? Through our team, I responded. I said, tell them thank you, we received their note. This is not our issue, not our mess. We are grieving and we have an organization to run. My husband never told people what to say. You do what you think is best and right, and I prayerfully wish you the best. But I will never ask someone to give me an apology that they don't genuinely mean. That's between you and the Lord. If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Click here to subscribe to
3 more minutes. But I wanted to watch, honestly, I don't even know how old this is, honestly. Well, this is old. Ah. Maybe not. No, it's not old. My apologies. Sorry. It's not old. Just keep her in your prayers. She's a strong woman. We will always miss Charlie. But as long as we keep his legacy alive, he will always be there. And we always will. Oh, let me, wait, I need to switch this. 1 minute. This is what we're going to be watching. Right here. Trump is will greet the Prime Minister. There's literally no other news on, which I'm surprised. There's like barely any news on. I don't think there's anything else of that plane crash right now. I guess it was engine failure, which a lot of planes go through that. I honestly thought they check the plane, obviously make sure it's filled up, the engines are good before they take off. But I guess anything can happen when it comes to that. Let's see, this was a day ago. 12 dead after engine. Never mind, the engine fell off. So it says 12 dead after the engine fell off. The UPS plane that crashed in Kentucky.
Things happen here. No one really talks about it.
That scared the crap out of me. What?
7 confirmed.
Don't do that. Alrighty, let's see what all goes down. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please smash the like button if you haven't already. And don't be afraid to chat with me. And please be safe today. Wherever you go, if it's walking or driving. Every time I do this.
Good morning. Welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Happy Friday to you. It's Friday, November 7th. It's the bottom of the hour, and we'll be seeing Viktor Orban, the great leader of Hungary, today with President Trump at about 11 o'clock. The two will greet each other, actually at about 11:30. And then at about 11:45, we'll see them have a bilateral lunch, a meeting there in the cabinet room. It's going to be two very strong, powerful leaders, of course, people that stand for freedom, stand for the people. And it'll be great to see that here on this Friday. We have a lot of news to get to. We have some live interviews coming up, some information out of New York, of course, with Elise Stefanik throwing her hat in the ring for the gubernatorial race in New York, which will be during the midterms. So November 3rd, 2026, midterms, obviously a big deal. Well, it'll be also on the ticket will be the governor's race in New York to hopefully counteract whatever's going on there at that point a year from now. I really am interested in seeing what's going to happen to New York City now that we have someone in office that is on the wrong side of history. So we'll see. All right, at 11:30, once again, President Trump greets Prime Minister Viktor Orban of Hungary. 11:45, the two will have that lunch meeting inside the cabinet room. At 3:30 Eastern, the president will depart the White House for a weekend back home in Florida, even though that's his home as well. So he has two homes, a number of homes, actually. But anyway, so the president will depart a bit later. What we'll do for that is we will be uploading the video of the president as he gets on to Marine One, heads over to Joint Base Andrews, and then, of course, flies to Florida. If he stops and talks to reporters, all that kind of content will be uploaded later today right here on RSBN. 10:32 Eastern. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Let's go to our other host, RSBN host Robert McNeely. He was interviewing Lars Larson, the conservative host out there on the West Coast, but of course widely known throughout radio and online and all of that. So talking about all family pharmacy. So let's go to that interview from pretty recently.
Welcome back to RSBN's Live Desk. It's Lars Larson. Lars, talk to us about flu season because it's right around the corner. In fact, in many cases, it's actually here. I know a lot of people are already getting sick. I tried the whole cold shower thing, the good food, the working out, a lot of sleep, but nobody wants their family laid up. So how is All Family Pharmacy able to provide these life-saving medications, and what is your take on folks that need to get an online pharmacy that actually works for them?
Well, my take is this. I got the flu out of the way about a month ago, and I'm hoping, having had it once, and it was relatively mild for me, but there were other people in my household, my wife in particular, my granddaughter, who got quite ill. And I do the same things you do. You try to get a great night's sleep, you drink a lot of water, you stay up to date on things like vitamin D. That's been something that a lot of us were doing before the pandemic, but during the pandemic we found out how important it is. But that's where All Family Pharmacy comes in, because you can get those regular things, all the regular multivitamins that you want to do to enhance the things that you may not pick up in your regular meals. I always figured it's like chicken soup. It couldn't hurt. You know, if you say, well, I think I've got green on my plate every night. I eat in a healthy way. I try to stay away from the junk food. On the other hand, you might miss something. So taking some vitamins is a good idea. You can get those from All Family Pharmacy. But the other things you can get, I mean, if you want to be able to get your hands on ivermectin, remember that was impossible 5 years ago. And why? Because it's a bad medicine? No, it's actually a great medicine. Because it's some kind of horse medicine. Boy, my wife got that line from one doctor who said, "What are you, a horse?" And I thought, no. They actually developed ivermectin to treat an illness in human beings, and then the people who developed it, who I believe got a Nobel Prize for it, ended up giving it away to some countries because it cured things like, I think it was river blindness was what they first aimed it at. It was a parasitic disease. And you say, okay, well, can I get some? No. Why not? Because the government says so. Well, I'll tell you something. All Family Pharmacy believes in medical freedom. That is, you and your doctor, and I always encourage people to consult with their doctor, but you and your doctor get to make the decision, not some nameless, faceless bureaucrat 3,000 miles away in Washington, D.C., at least 3,000 miles from me. You may be a lot closer, but I'm not. Thank God. I try to stay as far outside the D.C. Beltway as I can. But imagine this. Some bureaucrat is deciding, hey, we need to give emergency use authorization for the new experimental vaccine, which, by the way, I never took the jab and I'm not going to. Too many people who took the jab ended up getting sick anyway. But bottom line was they needed to eliminate all the other possible treatments. So they pushed out ivermectin, said you can't use that. Why not? No good reason other than a bureaucrat decided it. I don't want my medical decisions made by a bureaucrat. And All Family Pharmacy is a private company that actually backs that up with real action. Meaning it's fine, it's all well and fine to talk about wanting to make your own decisions, except that who actually helps you do it? The answer is allfamilypharmacy.com. And that's why I believe in what they're doing. The other thing they'll do, and I'll give you an example. My wife was coming down with the flu, and she's a few years younger than me, not a lot of years younger than me, but we knew Tamiflu had worked in the past. But Tamiflu it's a great antiviral, and it can help you either avoid getting the flu, or if you've got it, shorten the duration, as the doctors like to say. Well, problem is, to get it, you've got to get an appointment with a doctor. Then you've got to go see the doctor, even if you do it by Zoom. And you say, okay, so how many days is that going to be? A few. Oh, well, by the time we do that, the Tamiflu probably won't work. So in other words, we've got all these great miracle kinds of drugs and treatments and antivirals, but if you can't put your hands on it right now, then you might as well not have it at all. All Family Pharmacy is a solution for that. Now, one of the things is, you go online, you say, is this some kind of hocus pocus thing on the internet where, you're getting stuff that's shipped in from India or China? No. What you're getting is real pharmaceuticals with a real prescription from a real doctor, because All Families Pharmacy does it the right way. You want to do it legally. I'm not interested in getting some stuff off some random, anonymous, probably dangerous website. I want it from a company in America that I can actually trust. And so they do it with real doctors and real prescriptions. Now, I know I'm running off of the mouth, and I'm sorry for that, but this subject really gets me fired up. So having Tamiflu available is a big deal. And then for other things where you may want to enhance performance, things like membezadol, that's a mouthful, try and say that 5 times in a row, or any of the others, NAD+, All Family Pharmacy is your go-to. I mean, the total list they've got is more than 300 different legitimate medications, and then dosed to you after consultation with a doctor, except not a doctor who says, yeah, I'll be glad to see you next week. Hey, doc, by next week, I'll either be dead or I'll be over the flu. Can I get some help now? And the answer from modern medicine right now is no. The answer from All Family Pharmacy is yes. And that's one of the reasons that once you get me started, you wind me up, I'm going to keep on going when it comes to All Family Pharmacy.
Lars, we love your expertise on this because it literally is saving lives. Even my residents the other day, the lines out the door for urgent care were far too long, and my neighbor works there. She was telling me that we can't keep up with all these people, and I have to remain healthy for my own family. So cutting through the red tape, how does All Family Pharmacy do that? And then in addition to cutting through the red tape, you talk to regular folks, you talk to Main Street, you talk to the good people here in the United States. For your audience juggling kids, jobs, all this time when people come home this time of year with headaches, with cold, with flu, it seems like nothing, then it turns into something. How easy is it to order something like antibiotics and antivirals from All Family Pharmacy?
And you get online and you simply sit down and go through the process. And then what happens is a real prescription from a real doctor, and then shipped to your door. And if you need it especially quick, overnight shipping is available. Now, that's a great option, because when was the last time that you went to modern medicine these days and they said, well, it'll cost you a couple of extra bucks, but you can get it right now if you want it? I mean, almost everything else in our lives. I mean, the other day my wife was trying to find some, she does her Christmas shopping early, trying to find a special kind of little doll, for my granddaughter, because she's a little girl, and her little sister. And she goes online and finds it, and it's at our front door the next morning. So everything else in the world, you want to order Grubhub, you want to have them come to your door with food in 30 or 40 minutes, you can get that done. And then when it comes to medicine, we go back to the dinosaur age. Your prescription from modern medicine arrives by Pony Express after you order it by sending a telegram or or get on the telegraph and try. And you feel like, how did I suddenly go back in time 200 years in a day and age of technology? Now, I understand. I like shopping in person too. I like going to real stores and talking to real people and buying things locally. But when it comes to your health and when it comes to addressing problems that are right now, what's wrong with going to All Family Pharmacy? And one of the things you should think about doing, is something we do in our household, is you stock up ahead of time. You say, is it likely that somebody in the household is going to get the flu in the next 6 or 8 months? I actually don't know what the shelf life of Tamiflu is. But the thing is, it's not like you're going in and asking for OxyContin or fentanyl or something. Nobody's going to seek out Tamiflu. Wow, I want to go out and party this weekend. I think I'll get some Tamiflu. You're asking for it for a legitimate reason. Now, you would think that modern medicine would say, if this is something people need to get, usually they're in a hurry, can we find a way to speed it up? I mean, maybe someday the vast hospital industrial complex that feeds on hundreds of billions of dollars out of our government taxes, given to them mostly by one party I won't name, you'd think they'd say, if we're getting all their money, maybe we could actually provide some first-class service. Maybe someday they'll figure that out. You know what? All Family Pharmacy already has. So leave it to the private sector to figure out a great solution to a simple problem to get people what they need right now, right?
Absolutely. Common sense. Yes, sir. It is something with All Family Pharmacy. They're doing it differently. When it comes to hydrochloroquine, ivermectin, all these life-saving medications that, yes, as you mentioned, has been on shelves for years, but the bureaucrats who act slower than Fred Flintstone with that Uber driver delivery, how are we jumping through those hoops with this online pharmacy to fight back peacefully and patriotically, of course, against the bureaucracy in D.C. so people can get these life-saving medications in a short period of time?
Well, you know what's great about this is that there are a lot of things in our lives lately, in the last 20 years or so, that are called creative disruption. And you say, hold on, creative sounds good, disruption sounds bad, except when you creatively disrupt the marketplace. Let me give you an example most people are familiar with. I don't take Ubers very often, but if I have to travel, and I do
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
sometimes for work, or if I just need to get somewhere
God bless you guys.
right now, maybe my car's in the shop, I can whistle up an Uber or a Lyft. I usually use Uber. And you say, well, wow, what did the taxi companies say when their big monopoly on individual transportation? Because in the past, you couldn't get a ride from a friend and you needed to get somewhere and it was just across town. You'd call a cab and they'd say, we'll be there in about an hour, might be an hour and 15 minutes. All of a sudden, Uber and Lyft come in. And again, I've got no financial interest in Uber and Lyft. I just have used their services from time to time. They come in and it is incredibly disruptive because all the taxi companies, I'll give you an example. I don't live in Seattle, Washington, but I know the numbers from Seattle. It's a couple hundred miles away. 30 years ago, there were 700 taxi permits, 680 of them in the entire city of Seattle. 30 years later, the city is much bigger, has many more people, and before Uber and Lyft came in, they still had 680 taxi permits. Do you know what that meant? It meant a monopoly gold mine for people who drove taxis, because you were basically, you know, they were the only game in town. So if you wanted a ride, and say you were somewhere and you say, I've had a couple of beers with dinner, I want to have somebody else drive me home, call a cab. They say, yeah, hour and 15. If it's a busy Friday night, maybe 2 hours. And they had you because you had no other choices. All of a sudden, the other choices come up. And to some extent, I wish All Family Pharmacy to do the great business they're doing right now forever. But what may happen is the rest of the marketplace that says, we own these patients. If you want to go to the urgent care, we're the only game in town. And frankly, there have been times where looking for help for my family for particular problems that rise to that level, you know, kidney stones, things like that, you call one or you look at one urgent care and they say, well, 3-hour wait. You look at another one, 3-hour wait. They're all full all the time. So, or they were all full at the point I was looking. That may have to change at some point. But what All Family Pharmacy has done is for those things that you know what you need, you know when you need it, and you are willing to consult with All Family Pharmacy's crew of doctors in all 50 states so that they can look and say, yeah, you've got a legitimate need for that. They write a script and boom, it comes to your door in a couple of days. Or if you need it overnight, it'll come to your door overnight. That's the kind of thing that I hope is creatively disruptive to the entire megalith or monolith of the hospital industrial complex. It says, we've got your money already. We'll decide when we want to give you service. All Family Pharmacy is a game changer on that.
capitalism changing lives. I remember that very similar story to Chicago, Illinois. The former mayor and former ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, with the tokens, he was beholden to the unions in the city of Chicago. They banned Uber right when it came out, and therefore Lyft in those early days, and the taxis were riding high. Well, that all changed when it became much more efficient, and literally the people chose and said, no, 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 we are going to get our Ubers to get into the city of Chicago or the surrounding areas when visiting O'Hare International. Lars, share some stories with us regarding those who took advantage of All Family Pharmacy and their services, which you can right now at allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN from last year's flu season. Any success stories and any that perhaps saved lives or even dodged some bullets?
You know, I wish I had a life-saving example, but I know that there are people all over America who've taken advantage of All Family Pharmacy and discovered how easy it is, how affordable it is. And frankly, when it gets right down to it, if a member of your family is coming down with a flu, especially if you have travel coming up or something like that, at that point, it's not that money is no object. It's always an object, especially these days. It's tough. But on the other hand, if you knew I can get this service, I can get it right now, and there's a company happy to deliver it for me, then I'm going to seek out their services. And that's why I recommend All Family Pharmacy.
The great Lars Larson out west. We're east of the Mississippi. Always
on
a
the
joy to
left
be with
coast.
you, sir. Oh, yes.
On the left coast of America. I'm surrounded by heathens and pagans, but that's okay.
And you are a hero in the midst, common sense, bringing it to the folks out west. And we're going to do our due diligence on the east side of the Mississippi. But God bless you, sir. Thank you for sharing everything. Allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN, code RSBN10. That's RSBN10 right now to save. Allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN, endorsed by Lars Larson.
It is a pleasure to be with you. God bless.
God bless, sir. We'll talk soon.
God bless.
Take care.
Great interview there with Lars Larson, of course, out there on the West Coast, as he was mentioning, and then Robert talking about being the east side of Mississippi. I mean, we're working on keeping the truth alive when it comes to the airwaves, right? You know, for so many years, mainstream media has held on to really what's happening out there, and they just kept spinning it. Well, now it's kind of like, hey, we the people know, we're awake. And thanks to, obviously, President Trump calling out the fake news for so many years, and he still does, and Carolyn Levitt does, and Stephen Miller, and the list goes on. But it's great to have that because, you know, again, public opinion is so important. It's so important. Look at what just happened in New York City. Again, as I mentioned last night, the indoctrination over the years, whether it's in the education system, media, movies, film, whatever, right? And then you get brainwashed. So it's rinse and repeat. And then it controls the public's opinion. And then they go and vote for someone like Mamdani, again, who people thought, okay, this guy's a cool guy. I'm going to vote for him. And then they were asked, but do you like socialism or communism? And they said, oh, no, I don't like that. That's my point. In here, they just got brainwashed through the system. But their heart, it could be in the right place. It could be like, hey, I just want to help people and all that. But they just, this is why it's called an information war, as we know with InfoWars over there with Alex Jones. I mean, that's really what it is. I know you guys know that, but it's kind of like the inside baseball. Just want to be able to say this out loud and say things that many of us are thinking or what we believe when it comes to common sense in our country is just not something you're going to get in the mainstream media, as you guys know. It's called telling it like it is. Now, some networks out there will promo and say, hey, we're going to tell it like it is tonight. And they do a little bit of that, but not the full thing. Come on. We're letting our hair down because we have to, because we have a country to save. And we see that President Trump, of course, those 20 core promises to the American people, amazing promises to us, many of them already fulfilled. There's a lot to be done yet. We know that too. We have a decent amount of time left. But we also have to win those midterms in 2026. We'll have Kira Davis, who will join us in just a bit. She's written many articles all across the internet, including for the New York Post and Red State and so many great publications out there. We'll hear her take on New York City, on some other things as well when she joins us in about 9 minutes from now. In the meantime, this all brought to you by a number of great sponsors, including what you just heard there, All Family Pharmacy. You know, we're heading into the holiday season, as you know, a time for family, travel, and just being together. But also getting sick can really slow things down. And that's why All Family Pharmacy is helping Americans stay ready this season with that fast, affordable access to more than 300 trusted medications, including antibiotics, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and antivirals with things like Tamiflu. So having the right medications on hand, of course, means you can act fast when someone starts feeling sick. No scrambling for last-minute doctor visits or waiting in crowded pharmacies. Everything is done online. So this is how it works. You request what you need, and then a licensed U.S. doctor reviews that order. And approved medications will be shipped straight to your door, usually within just a few days. So it's a practical way to be ready before the holiday season. It gives you peace of mind knowing your family is covered. And that's what we like to have, right? You want to have peace of mind. So you can skip the stress, stay healthy, and enjoy the holidays. Just visit allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. You see that RSBN 10 promo code for 10% off. And as well, always consult a licensed healthcare provider before using any medication. Great sponsor there, All Family Pharmacy. Let's go to monetary gold as well as we get ready to see the president in just a bit from now. For years, the signs have been clear, and now the storm beneath the dollar is impossible to miss. Gold has broken through that $4,000 an ounce. Can you believe that? Silver's past 50 bucks, and it isn't luck, it's logic. When governments spend beyond their means, when every crisis is met with another trillion printed out of thin air, the value of your money goes down. History proves it. Every time a currency weakens, gold and silver rise to reveal the truth. So these metals don't depend on promises. They don't vanish when confidence collapses. They endure. So that's why the world's strongest institutions are moving into physical gold, quietly but decisively. Now's your moment to do the same. Just give them a call, 888-617-7994, or go to rsbnforthegold.com. Great way to get this free info kit for gold on monetary gold. One more sponsor as we get ready to move on with some of the news of the day, callshe.com/RSBN. A lot of great polls out there, a lot of great ways if you want to bet or trade or just check out the polls. A lot of topics on callshe.com and a lot of people using this service here. Callshe.com/RSBN. More than 1 million on the app right now. So just use the QR code or download the app or just go to callshe.com/RSBN. All right, so we're 7 minutes from the top of the hour. We are live, obviously, right now. Beautiful fall day in Washington, D.C. As you can see in the bottom right of your screen, the president will be headed to Florida for the weekend around 3:30 in the afternoon. But before that, meeting one of the great world leaders, Viktor Orban of Hungary, a very strong leader for the people of his nation, all about border security, all about freedom for his people, and on the right side of history. I like Viktor Orban. I know a lot of you do too. Speaks at a lot of the conservative conferences out there, including CPAC and others. There's a CPAC Hungary, of course. So looking forward to seeing Viktor Orban in that White House with our great leader, President Donald J. Trump. Again, he's a leader. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the president. He's not a king, you know? He might have king energy. He might be like, you know, the man, because he is. But that's what, it's funny because the left just doesn't like that toxic masculinity, and President Trump exudes that masculinity. So that's why they're like, oh, no kings. We want terrible streets. We want unsafe streets. We don't want anybody to do law and order. What's law and order? We want crime.
King of kings.
I mean, that's what the protesters are really saying. And then when they vote for someone like Mamdani in New York, they're saying, oh, we don't want any power. Just control us, sir. Control us. Let us be sheeple.
Having over the people.
Right? I told you, we're telling it like it is. It's a Friday. We got to do it sometimes, right? All right, so we're about 5 minutes to the top of the hour, Friday, November 7th. Looking forward to hearing from Kira Davis. Again, she's going to join us in about 5 minutes from now. So let's go over some of the stories that we're tracking as we get ready to see the president. So again, at 11:30 this morning, the president will greet Prime Minister Viktor Orban of Hungary. 11:45, the two will have lunch inside the cabinet room, so a bilateral lunch meeting there. Previous times when the president would have these meetings, it would say closed press, but we would still be able to see what's going on and hear from the president for a few minutes. and hopefully Viktor Orban in this case as well. So that's at around 11:45. So we're going to be here throughout the morning covering this event. And then at 3:30, we'll be uploading the various videos that we get when the president takes off from Joint Base Andrews and heads to Florida for the weekend.
So you won't be live.
Meantime, let's shift from Washington, D.C. and head up to New York City and New York State, the Empire State. Elise Stefanik running for New York governor for next year. So next year is that election, November 3rd, 2026. The midterms, obviously, a huge deal for our country and the future of our nation. The election, a big one in the Empire State. So recently, there was this whole video about Kathy Hochul that Elise Stefanik's team put out there. So let's play that video for you right now.
The Empire State has fallen.
People are just going crazy over the amount of taxes here.
There's no question, New York is facing an affordability crisis.
Escape from New York, the tax base has been fleeing the Empire State.
Top leaders in New York City say a wave of migrant crime has washed over the city. Foreign gang members terrorizing innocent New Yorkers.
Complete disregard for the law.
And Kathy Hochul's failed policies are to blame.
Worst governor in America. Worst governor in America. Worst governor in America.
Kathy Hochul made New York the most unaffordable state in the nation, crushing families with sky-high taxes, unaffordable rent, soaring energy costs, and record-high grocery bills. And cozied up to a defund the police, tax-hiking, anti-Semitic communist.
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
I can hear you.
But from the ashes of Kathy Hochul's failed policies, New York will rise, like we always do. The spirit of the Empire State cannot be broken. All we need is a courageous leader, ready for the fight. Elise Stefanik will make New York affordable and safe.
People in New York, no matter if you're Republican, Independent, or Democrat, enough is enough. We are the most unaffordable state in the nation because of single-party Democrat rule led by Kathy Hochul.
As a working mom, congresswoman, and fighter, Elise knows families need more help, and she'll make New York affordable. That's why she authored and passed the largest middle-class tax cut in New York's history, letting working families keep more of their hard-earned money. Elise will reduce your energy, utility, and grocery bills. She fought woke insanity in our schools, stood proudly with law enforcement, championed small businesses, and will never back down from fighting for New York families. With everything on the line, we need someone who will deliver results and make New York affordable and safe for families and small businesses to not just survive, but thrive. Elise Stefanik will clean up Kathy Hochul's catastrophe and restore New York's greatness. Elise Stefanik for governor. It's time to save New York.
Okay, so that's the new ad from Elise Stefanik announcing today that she's running for governor. So next year in the fall, of course, November 3rd will be the midterm elections. So huge for our country nationally, as we know. But on the ticket there in the Empire State, Elise Stefanik throwing her hat in the ring, and hopefully to counteract anything going on in New York City. We'll see what New York City's like from now until then. How about just January 1st? I mean, that's when Mamdani's going to be sworn in the Big Apple there.
He's going to destroy it.
Anyway, I used to work in New York, as I've mentioned before. And I remember being outside of City Hall doing a story. It was back when Mayor Michael Bloomberg was the mayor of New York. Would rather actually have him at this point. But who knows? Maybe he's, well, we'll stop there. All right, 11 a.m., Friday, November 7th, the top of the hour. Thanks so much for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Again, we're getting ready to see the president meet and greet right there at the front of the West Wing. Not too far from the Oval Office. Of course, the great leader of Hungary, Viktor Orban, the prime minister, will be showing up there to the White House.
His
and then
bush
we'll
is
have
depressed.
meeting. And then at about 11:45, according to the press guidance for the White House, the leader of Hungary and the president will have a bilateral lunch meeting. Usually in the past, we have seen the entire portion of that, at least the beginning of it, So we're looking forward to seeing at least the president outside the West Wing, and then hopefully we'll see him in the cabinet room as well with Viktor Orban. In the meantime, let's go to a couple sponsors as we get ready to see the president later. We're going to be joined by some great guests here in just a bit. AngelPaste.com, as you see, out of Spring, Texas. There's a lot of great products on there. The flagship product, of course, is the Miracle Cream. So once you go to AngelPaste.com, you'll see a number of great products, all for skin health care and all that kind of stuff, right? Skin health. So use the RSBN promo code when you check out. You'll get that percentage off as well. So a good win-win. There's actually a bunch of wins when it comes to buying from small businesses that are conservative, that indirectly help Right Side Broadcasting Network as well by using that RSBN promo code. But you have this great product there. So they hire military veterans. Spring, Texas is the location for angelpaste.com. 1102. Let's go to our next sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. You see covepure.com/RSBN. Really, all I have to say about this one is drink pure, live pure, Cove Pure. Seriously, I mean, when you have tap water or when you have a system like this that takes 99.9% of the junk out of the tap water, so it's better to drink. It tastes better. It's healthier for you. How many more things should I say, right? I know a lot of you probably have a water filtration system, but this one here is definitely a winner. And you get $200 time as well. So just use that RSBN promo code. All you have to do is go to covepure.com/RSBN.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Hold on. Trying to get my Bluetooth connected.
And then on top of that, all of the stuff that gets put in.
Yep.
Just to drink it from the tap.
All right. Today my internet should be a little bit better because I'm going to be driving through like Indianapolis.
Temperature you'd like. So covepure.com/RSBN, another great.
Well, that's good.
But then again, I'm still driving, so it might be still bad.
Live at the West Wing of the White House, and then of course the front lawn there, the north lawn with the beautiful red, white, and blue. We love our country.
I'm just waiting on Trump.
This country,
11:30.
Oh yeah. What is about to do?
And we stand up for all of that.
He's going to be greeting the Prime Minister of Hungary.
What's happening in New York City? What's happening? Well, let's just ask. Let's go to Kira.
At 11:30.
She joins us live from the.
I guess they're gonna have like a dinner.
Kira, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey Matt, good to see you.
You too. You too. Before we get to New York City and Mamdani, let's
turn this up
I'm
so
going
I
to
can
say
hear.
one thing, and I want to get your reaction. Are you ready?
Okay.
Nancy Pelosi retirement. Go.
Oh, don't get too excited because the guy who's going to take her place is a state senator right now, a guy named Scott Wiener. And he is a, how should I put this? LGBTQ plus all the other letter warriors.
Well, that's embarrassing. You know what his last name is?
Wiener.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Who would
Yeah, I was
even
going to say something about that.
go to school and then your teacher yelling out your last name? I feel bad for Wiener.
Yeah, you know he was
pretty much infamous.
Wow. It's the Wiener family.
For his S&M costumes and play during gay pride parades. And he is also the senator who is responsible for every bill in the state of California that has lowered the age of consent for the age of sexual consent for minors. He recently tried to lower
Why would they lower that?
I think 12.
I don't know.
The legislature compromised at 15 in this last bill. And then he's also one of the sponsors of the bill that reduces sentencing and charging for people accused of sex trafficking and child sex abuse. So this guy is worse than Nancy.
I guess I was going to say, is that even possible? But now you just answered the question and you totally took the wind out of my sails.
Sorry, you're not going to get, we don't even have a system where here in California where we can run somebody and then choose the best candidate. It really is just, he's probably just going to get appointed. She'll just retire. He'll get appointed and then he'll just win every election after that. This is, you're getting him. You're getting Scott Wiener. And I every time I interact with that man, I ask him what's on his hard drive. because I don't. This man is. You should be very disturbed that this man is going to go to the United States Congress, but he'll be there.
Disturbed that.
Wow. Well, you're breaking news here for me, at least, because I didn't know.
With a
I didn't
name
know
like
those
that, and
specifics.
then
You know,
with like
I'm
his
looking at some of these
actions, it's
headlines.
like,
There's a lot of headlines out there.
why
I
do
see
we-
Nancy Pelosi's
why do we even
retired. I
have
thought
him
you were
in
just going to
politics?
bash Nancy Pelosi just verbally here, and then you tell me that you're saying
You know
worse.
what? Let me say something about that, Matt. Everybody needs to understand what is happening here. The old guard is being pushed out. We shouldn't be so happy that Nancy Pelosi is going, because even though we didn't like her very much and she can wreak a lot of havoc, the woman ruled her party with an iron fist, and she knew how to maintain norms, and she knew how to whip people into shape. And she was somebody that could be worked with, even if she was kind of a you-know-what a lot of the time. She's leaving, and she's the last of normality in the Democrat Party. So yeah, when the Pelosi's and the Schumers move over, as distasteful as we find them, they're just going to be replaced by the progressive left that is taking over, as we see in New York City.
You're speaking a lot of truth, and we're gonna let's sink our teeth into this one, because to your point, Mamdani, would you say is now the poster child of the Democrat Party, and everybody's going toward this extreme left, and then what we're having is then we're all going further right, and further right only.
Like, he's literally going to completely destroy New York.
Meaning for God, family, country, freedom, right? So your thoughts about Mamdani in New York City and what we're going to see coming up in the midterms. I mean, how does this look?
There's a lot there, Matt. Let's see. Let's start off with Mamdani and the rise of Mamdani in New York City. This is the rise of socialism. This is a fruition. It's hard to understand you're in a moment of fruition when you're sitting in it, but we are actually in a moment of fruition. So this is what the left wing, the Marxist left wing, has been working towards in the United States for 70 plus years. And this is now coming to fruition. All the immigration policies, all the education takeovers, all of that stuff has added up to this moment. And now we're being asked to make a choice between the far left or everyone else. I heard Steven Pinker the other day, great professor, great academic, talking about how you mentioned, Matt, you said we on the right, we're going further to the right, but that just means further towards God, faith, and family. But really what's happening is the progressive left is so far to the left, they've created what Steven Pinker calls a left pole. So the way that you stand at the North Pole, everywhere you look is south, right? Because you're so far north. The left pole, if you're standing at the left pole, everybody is to the right, right? We're all right wingers now. It is the right wing versus the left pole of America now. This is what is happening. So there's definitely a big battle shaping up here, and Republicans need to recognize that. Now, on one level, this is very dangerous when you have an Islamist communist in charge of the capital of America and the rise of socialism in the Democrat Party. That's very dangerous. But on the other hand, what bodes well, I think, for the American electorate is that Americans generally don't buy this stuff. They don't want this stuff. And when it gets presented to the general population, we typically run far from it. And this is why the Democrats have had to couch their socialism and other things for so many years. They lie to us about who they were.
Great
and the masks are off. I think this is good news. The masks are off. We get to know exactly who we're dealing with now.
This is why we have you on, Kira. I mean, you're speaking. No, seriously. I mean, this is exactly why we have you on, because you're able to articulate it in such a way that is very true. And we're not just playing TV here. This is a very real thing that we're dealing with in this country. And to your point, Americans overall, a majority, massive majority, reject communism, reject all the things that are negative or bad, right? Same thing in Minnesota recently. Wasn't there a mayoral race there? And then also in Seattle right now, there's a mayoral race where similar kind of candidates are involved, but they're not, I don't believe they're winning those races there. So because most of America says, again, we don't want that. But let's talk about the psychology of why people actually voted for Mamdani. I'm going to say what I think. I want to just hear if you agree. It's simple as they were indoctrinated over the years by all the systems out there. Then there's the brainwashing, and then you rinse and repeat, which sways public opinion. Then you go to the polls and you say, I want Mamdani. And then you get asked, why'd you vote for Mamdani? And they say, well, because we liked him. But then you get asked, but do you like socialism and communism? And they say, no, I don't. How in the world does that happen?
We had a similar issue here, Matt, in California on election night. As you know, we were voting on our gerrymandering Prop 50, which immediately passed.
Because
and we weren't
people don't do all
surprised
the
by that.
research
There's some
when they
other
vote.
lawsuits going on right now. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Huh?
I said people don't do their research when they vote. You know, they act like they have this responsibility to vote and they have to go out and vote, but then they do no research and they only look at, you know, what's on the front page of the news, and then they vote based on that, and come to find out, you know, they just voted for somebody they don't even fully believe with. You know, they didn't even, you know.
They literally sweet talk them, and then finally when they finally win, that's when the destruction happens. It's like, wow, he literally just said this, but now he's doing this.
Yep.
I mean, he literally brainwashed them.
Yeah.
And now he's going to cause complete destruction at work.
My point is that an overwhelming majority of voting Californians, which isn't a majority of Californians, we have very low turnout, but of those people that voted, they voted overwhelmingly for Prop 50. And early polling shows that those people say, when you ask them why they voted for Prop 50, they believed they were voting against Donald Trump. And when you ask them if they wanted the independent commission to go back to the legislature, they say no. They're completely different. So it's the same thing. This is why propaganda matters. This is why owning the media channels matters. This is why what you do, Matt, matters. What I do matters. You have these other voices out there. Again, just circling back to what I said earlier, this is the fruition of a 70-plus year campaign to overtake the American system of liberty. No one can defeat us militarily. They have to defeat us in the arena of ideas, and they've been doing it. And they've been tearing down the family. So when you hear President Trump saying, we're going to wrestle back the education system. We're going to impose tariffs so we're no longer, you know, the abused kid on the block. We're going to close the border. We're going to incentivize family and marriage. He's not just talking about fulfilling campaign promises. He's talking about shifting the entire American culture so that in another 70 years, we're not back here. The way that they have been educated.
Yeah, you lost connection. It looks like it's raining there, so please be safe driving.
Marxists for 70 years, we need to be deliberate about educating patriots. I'm afraid we just have not been very serious about it, and we're paying the price for it.
It seems like, yes, we know, and as President Trump has said this before too, at least the first part of it, the Democrats, they really stick together, and they have all these strategies because this is their life, right? They don't.
Thank you for getting in the box, Wolf.
Don't want to believe in a God or anything else. They say that we are the God, we are the ones that are going to do this, and they're really focused. And I think we do need to bring that together on the right side of history here. And I'm not going to really just say right wing, left wing at this point. The truth versus the lies, the freedom versus the tyrannical ways. You know, we just need to put away anything that's the small differences that are happening out there that really don't matter to focus on. We should really be thinking about, does this affect our faith in God, our freedoms, our family, our education, and all of the reforms that we need? Get the corruption out of our country. And instead, and I thought about Mamdani, you know, it's easy to win a place like New York City. Let's be real, because of all of that indoctrination. Ooh, you won, Mamdani. Well, duh, they're all, not all of them, but a lot of them are indoctrinated. Go try and do that in another town like, I don't know, Dallas, Texas or something. It's just not going to happen, or many other towns across America. Anyway, let's shift over to a couple other things. First of all, Kira, we talked off camera a while ago, and I'm just going to say this live on air. The Kira Davis show has a good ring to it, and I hope that you will do this someday. I'm just going to say it out loud. All right, anyway, so what are your thoughts about some of the deep state indictments so far? I mean, are they serious enough charges? Are these the kind of people that will just, they're hiding in the woodworks right now, but they're going to come out of the woodworks maybe at the midterms and then the next presidential election, and then our country will look more like London or, heaven forbid, China. And is that dramatic? Is that way off, or do you agree?
Are you worrying that these deep state actors are going to wreak a little havoc before the midterms? Is that what you're saying? I don't think I've quite understood the question.
In general, we know that they subverted the will of the American people in 2020, according to, and those aren't my words, that's Tulsi Gabbard who said that at a press conference with Carolyn Levitt. We know what they did to President Trump through the lawfare. We know what President Trump has gone through and what we, the people, have gone through when it comes to weaponized government, which is, again, part of the core promises to the American people that we're going to end all of that. So my point is just holding people accountable and the future of our nation as it stands.
I honestly don't think President Trump has any other choice but to make sure these people get held accountable. And I'll tell you what, I think he was a little more satisfied to slow walk it in the beginning before Charlie. But after Charlie, I don't think the president is messing around anymore. I do think that there's a lot of red tape behind the scenes. I think that he wishes could be cut through that really can't be as quickly as he might suppose. But I'll tell you this, I think people should be watching closely for the pace of indictments to pick up over the next 12 months. The Trump administration is going to need to do everything they can to build momentum, to make life better for Americans, while at the same time delivering on some of the promises he made to his base. And I hate to put it this way, but I do think it's an apt description. The base wants revenge, and the base is not happy about what was done to them in 2020, nor should they be, because we're Americans. I know we're uncomfortable with the word revenge because the other side uses it so maliciously. But it's not revenge, it's justice. And we're Americans, and we don't like to be treated poorly. And we've been treated very poorly. So I think everybody's had just about enough. You can tell President Trump has had enough. Now we've seen the indictments of Comey. We're seeing Bolton, but also now there's whisperings about Brennan. See, this hole is going deeper, and I do believe it's going to go all the way to the top, or the bottom, as it were. I do think we are going to see some big names before the midterms. So everyone hold tight, but keep the pressure on. You know, Congress needs to know too, we expect results. It's got to get really ugly before it's going to get better, everybody. What they did to us was unprecedented and truly evil. We have not even began to plumb the depths of what our own government tried to do to us. So it is going to get ugly, and it is going to get uncomfortable, and everyone is going to get a little nervous, but everyone needs to hold the line. I do believe that the Trump administration is coming with more indictments. I do.
I do too. Before I let you go, I'm going to be really, really straight up, almost like it's just you and I talking and nobody's listening. That's how real I'm going to be right now. I'm concerned about our country turning into a London, England style of place. The people that are patriots, that love their freedom of speech in London, and love their patriots in their country, they're under attack there when it comes to a number of things. And I am literally concerned about New York City with what's happening with Mamdani. And I'm concerned that if we ever get in the wrong, if someone has the wrong idea of our country, gets into that power again, that our country will turn into a London, England, or worse. And also, once they get that power, Kira, someone I was talking to the other day said, they're the ones that would hold the power and keep the power and never, ever let us win again. Because they were projecting to us, Kira. They were saying, well, President Trump's going to be that guy. He's not going to ever let go of power. We're not going to ever win another election. They're projecting and showing their cards to exactly what they want to do for our country. Am I right or not?
You are absolutely right. This is why I keep saying this is war. I don't think people understand this is war. We have to win. It's not just, oh, we're going to lose another election cycle in the midterms and it'll go back around. No, we have to win. If I believe with my whole heart, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. If Kamala Harris had won last year, the Democrat Party would have seen the rest of us dead or in jail. It's where we were headed. It's where we were going. Now, I've got a couple of encouraging things to tell you, Matt. Got some good news for you. Number one, the American people are armed. We're well armed, and we have the Second Amendment. So it's not good news that we might devolve into civil war, but it is good news that we are not the type of people to simply let ourselves be rolled over. That's what the Second Amendment is for. So push comes to shove, we've got other ways to protect ourselves should we get there. And we pray to God that we don't. But that's the other thing we have, which is the hope and promise of Jesus Christ, who has told us that he has sacrificed himself for us, and he has given us the commandment and the mandate to go forth and multiply. That doesn't just mean to procreate, but it also means to multiply our ideas, our faith, to multiply the believers. And what will happen, Matt, is as this Islamic and communist threat makes inroads in the United States, as it has, the reason it has is because we have pulled back the Holy Spirit. We have pulled back the reign of God from general society in America. And this is the result, the vacuum, and now this is filling it up. But when Charlie died, when Charlie was killed, that memorial, that day, I know you felt it too. I think we even talked that day. The country changed. You felt it. If you were just watching on TV, the country united to praise and worship and pray together. That's revival. And as revival sweeps this nation, there won't be room for the Islamists. You know what I mean? That's Jesus is going to push that part out. That's the Holy Ghost is going to fill the space so much there won't be room for this other stuff. So this is a holistic solution. You got to get to the ballot box. You got to poke your representatives. You got to get engaged in your community and cultural change, and go to church, raise your families, and spread the gospel, because at the end of the day, the gospel is what will push out evil for us, and we can get down to the business of America. All is going to work together, but we have the good news and the hope of Jesus, and I never give up on that, and that's why I always have hope for this country.
Amen.
Not going to say anything because I'm going to let the silence kind of speak. Kira Davis, you have to have Kira Davis show. Outside of that, what you just spoke right there, I agree with 1,500,000%, actually infinity percent. I think the people that are watching right now are saying amen to Kira Davis. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I for those of you that are watching right now, I saw Kira Davis write an article about the Sydney Sweeney fiasco a few months back. And that article was in the New York Post. And she wrote it so dang good that I said, I got to find this Kira Davis. And I'm glad I did.
And now Sydney Sweeney's back. She's back in the news today.
I know.
She's so based.
She's great. Did you see her just that look? Yeah. I mean, the memes all over social media right now. She's just
I made that look my profile picture.
Oh, did you?
She's all of us right now. It was so good to talk to you, Matt. God bless you out
God
there.
bless you. Kira Davis, rock star. Thank you so much.
Hi, guys. Thank you for
that's the thing. This is what I'm talking about. What she just said. It doesn't have to be me blabbing it all the time. I mean, I don't care. What I care about, well, obviously I want to like to keep the job, but the point is, but it's still great to be able to speak so freely about what all of you or most of you agree with. And this is the stuff I'm talking about when we say, oh, the mainstream media,
Amen, 100%, 1,000, a trinity, what she said, okay? She hit it on the nail. Secondly, I'm pretty sure Trump actually met with this this minister. And I guarantee you I recorded it.
Done this for so long. It's about time we just stop talking about Goliath because we're David. David wins.
Thank you for the heart.
I don't care what anybody says out there. David's going to win this thing. And in the end, we know who wins. We still have to vote, though. We still have to pray. We still have to keep speaking truth and understand the information war is legit. It's legitimate. It's real. What just happened in New York, again, happened because people were simply indoctrinated, brainwashed by the whole system, and then they had their public opinion swayed. And a decent amount of those people, I believe, have good hearts. That's just my opinion. You might disagree with me, but the reason why I say that is because I know Democrats who said, oh, I don't like Trump and blah, 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 blah. But then they're just really good people. It's like, how do you do that? Again, the heart can be good, but the mind can be jacked up because of the mainstream media and everything else out there that has been trying to go against the truth. Hence, and enter conservative media. that's why we're here.
Try not to make you guys fall
It's
back.
11:23, Friday, November 7th. Getting ready to see the president there with the great leader from Hungary, of course, Viktor Orban. Looking forward to that. Let's go over a few of our great sponsors. Without these awesome sponsors and their great products, we wouldn't be able to show you this live picture later today with the president, or in about 6 minutes or so. We're heading, obviously, into the holiday season. So it's a time for family, traveling,
Stay healthy, guys.
being together, but also the getting sick part obviously can really slow things down. That's why All Family Pharmacy is helping Americans stay ready this season with fast, affordable access to more than 300 trusted medications, including antibiotics, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and antivirals like Tamiflu. So having the right medications on hand means you can act fast when someone starts feeling sick. No scrambling for the last-minute doctor visits or waiting in crowded pharmacies. So everything is done online. It's streamlined, it's easy, and these are good products to help out. So what you do is you request what you need. A licensed U.S. doctor reviews your order, and approved medication ships straight to your door, usually within a few days. It's a practical way to be ready before the holiday season, and it gives you peace of mind knowing your family is covered. So you can skip the stress, stay healthy, and enjoy the holidays. allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Use that RSBN10 promo code to save that 10%. And always consult, of course, a licensed healthcare provider
Stay
before
safe,
using
guys.
any medication. allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Let's go to Monetary Gold as we await the president here, and we have a live interview coming up in a few minutes as well. For years, the signs have been clear, but a lot of people just ignored it. So now the storm is beneath. Now the storm beneath the dollar is impossible to miss. Gold has broken through $4,000 an ounce. Silver past 50, and it isn't luck, it's logic. When governments spend beyond their means, when every crisis is met with another trillion printed out of thin air, the value of your money must fall. So history proves it. Every time a currency weakens, gold and silver rise to reveal the truth. These metals don't depend on promises. They don't vanish when confidence collapses. They endure. That's why the world's strongest institutions are actually moving into physical gold. They're doing it quietly but decisively. Now is your chance to do the same. Just give them a call. Get that info kit, 888-617-7994, or go to rsbnforthegold.com, and you can take what you've built, make it real, before the next headline reminds you that paper wealth is just that, paper. All right, it is 11:26. We're approaching the bottom of the hour. Let's go to one more sponsor here as we get ready to see the president in just a minute. Let's go to that right now on the screen as we get ready to see President Trump, again with Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary. All right, so Monetary Gold. What's next, Director? Let's go to mypillow.com right now. As we know, Mike Lindell has some great products there at mypillow.com. More than 2,000 products. So just use the RSBN promo code. That'll get you quite the savings there. A lot of great products, as you guys know. I've got the slippers, the slides. I should get the towels. That'd be cool. The Giza Dream Sheets are great. There's so many things. And, of course, the MyPillow and My Coffee, and the list goes on. So get ready for Christmas. I mean, it's literally next month. So mypillow.com/RSBN. Some great sponsors here at Right Side as it's 11:27, Friday, November 7th. Let's do this. We'll have a live interview after the commercial break, brought to you by one of our great sponsors here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in on this Friday. Happy Friday to you. We'll be right back.
Every day you eat, drink.
They're going to show food. Are you serious? Welcome, guys. I muted it because they're on advertisement. I don't do advertisements. But once we get back, we're going to go straight to Trump. And did I say advertisements? They're commercials. Their commercials aren't that long, so it would be good. Oh my. I love the art. That's disgusting. And very, very shameful. We're putting that in our world. I love sushi. Did I say sushi? That's kimchi. I need more sleep. Welcome, guys. Really shouldn't food.
E1 to give you all the benefits of premium fermented kimchi in convenient capsule form. No mess, no taste, no hassle. Each capsule delivers over 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and antioxidants that help restore balance in your gut and health to the rest of your body. People are seeing improvements in digestion, energy, even cardiovascular and brain health. Studies show that kimchi can even reduce the risk of obesity, promote smaller waistlines, and lower BMI. Kimchi One is all natural, non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, and 100% made in the USA, so just about anyone can take it. We're living in a toxic world. You must do something proactive.
All right, so great sponsor there. And you can actually use code RSBN for 25% off your order by going to mybrightcore.com/RSBN.
So get that, okay? Get healthy.
Or for even a better deal, call Brightcore and you'll get up to 50% off plus free shipping. All you have to do is call 888-722-0936. 888-722-0936. And remember, you only get the 50% off and free shipping when you call. Again, that number, 888-722-0936. All right, it's November 7th. It's 11:31 this morning. Getting ready for a couple live interviews as we get ready to see President Trump and the leader of Hungary, of course, Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who is also an awesome, strong leader for the movement of freedom across the globe. You know, I know it's America first, but still great to see some great leaders there at the White House. All right, let's go to Silk for just a few minutes real quick. Silk, thanks so much for joining us on Right Side.
Wow, thank you so much for having me, Matt.
Definitely. All right. I was going to say a long-winded thing, but you know what? I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to say a couple names, and then I want you to do your thing, Silk. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Zoran Mamdani.
Well, you call him Mamdani, I call him Mamdani, because he is nothing but a puppet. He was installed just like Joe Biden. They have it set up from the get up, especially when it comes down to the different tactics that they use to cheat in our elections, like the machines, like the mail-in ballots. They are, you know, when I listen to him give his, I guess you would call it a speech, he sounded like Obama, like a well-trained Obama to me. And then, you know, when you talk about the people that voted for him, those are not New Yorkers that voted for him. Those are illegal aliens that voted for him. And a lot of those numbers that I saw, I believe those are phantom voters. Those are the mail-in voters, the dead voters, because what they wanted to do is to install this individual at that particular time, okay? And then who do he represent? He stood there on stage and he said he is a socialist Democrat or a Democrat socialist, and he said he's a Muslim. Now, I don't have anything against Muslims or anybody's belief, ideology, but he appears to be a radical Muslim to me. And so if America value is founded on Judeo-Christian values, how is this individual, what values is he going to represent for America and Americans? And me and my sister, we used to often say that people, you keep voting the same way, get the same results. from the same system, only to find out that the system has been the one installing themselves into different places for different reasons. Our systems have been infiltrated by this type of religious ideology. It's been infiltrated by these foreigners and these illegal aliens, and it's all been a lot of it has been infiltrated via the Democrat Party. And what they're doing is setting stuff up so that they can take power and keep power. That's all they're doing. They want to take over America. And I'm going to tell you, Matt, real quick, only probably about 10 seconds. It's going to be really hard for me to follow somebody's Sharia law because it's bad enough I wear a wig and it's already hot. I don't need to have all of that different stuff all up on me and all you can see is my eyes. I have a very, very serious problem with that. And just like I just stood there and spoke my truth, we as American citizens are going to have to do the same. We're going to have to speak out against what we're seeing. And the Democrat Party have now deemed themselves a socialist communist party. And one more thing, this is a blessing in disguise. This is a blessing in disguise. I look at the positive out of this. This is a blessing in disguise because 2026 is coming up. Now we get to see, hey, is it socialism or is it socializing? Because a lot of people might think that they're going to be socializing, but now we're about to see what real socialism look like.
Speaking of social, let's talk about the social engineering of tolerance and DEI and saying everything's okay. There's no hey Silk, there's no truth, you know? You can do what you want, do what you feel, and that's okay. And if anybody comes against that, that's hate speech. That's not hate speech. Hate speech is not even, it's ridiculous to think about because think about it. If you're inciting violence or you're doing a violent act, that's against the law. But outside of that, you have the freedom to say, you know what? No, I don't believe that that is the right way to do things. And I think my point is the tolerance in America, even myself, like when you say things that you're saying, I'm like, oh, well, we better watch it there. You know, we got to be tolerant. And I'm like, this comes down to truth versus lies, doesn't it? What if a number of people say, no, the truth is that we love God, family, country, and freedom, and that's not wrong, and that's what we're going to do. And the other people say, well, we want communism and dictatorships and control of the masses, and you all have to believe this other thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. You know, being silent is what got men in the women's locker room, in the women's bathroom. When it first started with that Leah Thomas, you know, me and my sister spoke out about it. We were straight up bold with it. We don't want no men. You got to open up your mouth and stop being so tolerant of everything. You know, if you accept everything, you will fall for anything. And guess what? You just would be a puppet to the cause of somebody else. Stop allowing these people to dictate to us what we can and cannot say and how we can and cannot believe and what we can and cannot feel. Stop allowing them to do that and speak out. Don't get locked up and blocked up into this censorship. Look, there's alternative media out there. Find your place, find your space, and speak out. God gave you a voice for a reason, so your voice is your power. So it's time for the Americans to use it and stop being tolerant of all of this demonic indoctrination that these people choose to bestow upon we, the American people.
It's so true. Miss Sarah Kirk said the other day at Ole Miss, she says, we either stand for freedom or we're going to fall for everything else. Let's also go to this. So just before I let you go, we have another interview coming up here in just a second. But I'm going to say again, just a real quick statement and then rock and roll. Ready? Nancy Pelosi retirement.
Only thing I can think of is another one bites the dust. And she should have been bit the dust a long time ago. It's time for term limits to be put into place. I thought about it. Can you name one thing, one bill that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have put into place or approved for American citizens? I can't name one. When I look at her district, when I look at the state that she represents, San Francisco, California, when I look at it, and my sister and I, we was in her district before when we did we was featured in a movie called Dummy Crash. And let me tell you, it is filled full of boo-boo. And I'm keeping it clean for my Christians in the back. is filled full of boo-boo doo-doo, okay? All right? You had to walk over boo-boo doo-doo. And when I look at Nancy Pelosi, with all due respect, she's full of boo-boo doo-doo, have been full of boo-boo doo-doo for a long time. And boo-boo doo-doo attract boo-boo doo-doo. That's all I can say about that. I'm glad that she's returned. There's a lot more other people need to retire, because they need to stop turning the Capitol, the Senate, the Congress, they need to stop turning it into a retirement home or old folks home.
And if you guys want to hear the straight up version, the non so-called censored version of the boo boo doo doo, you can follow Silk on X or on Truth Social, and I can guarantee you she doesn't use the words boo boo doo doo. All right.
No, I got the college. Yeah, I could say sugar, honey, iced tea, but ain't nothing sweet about it. Ain't nothing sweet about it. No. So I say boo boo doo doo. I love you, Matt. God bless.
I love you too, Silk. Thanks so much for joining us. It's 11:39. Let's go from Silk now to the great Carla Sands, who, of course, part of the America First Policy Institute, doing a lot of great things for our country. Let's go to Carla Sands right now, and she joins us live. Carla, thanks so much for joining us. If you've been watching any of the program, do you just want to keep on keeping on with us?
Oh my gosh, God bless Silk, right? I mean, she and her sister were the dynamic duo. It's great to be with you, Matthew. It's great to talk to you. You know, clearly Republicans have to really evaluate our messaging and our candidates. But also, like, I looked at the numbers for New Jersey, and just like in 2020, with that spike of millions of additional voters for Joe Biden, I saw 400 or 500,000 new voters in New Jersey that have never been there. Over 50 years, they've had a consistent number. And New Jersey gained Republican registered voters, and Democrats lost in the last year. How did this candidate get 400,000 or 500,000 more votes than the current sitting governor? And in fact, Joe Schiaparelli, who was the Republican candidate, got more votes than the re-election of the current sitting governor in New Jersey. It makes no sense. There's going to have to be a forensic accounting of that election before they certify it. There has to be someone looking into who were these voters, and what about all the postal edict that now they're not going to photograph the ballots that go through the post office. We want free and fair elections. We don't want the post office meddling in our election and making it easier to steal elections. The midterm coming up and 2028 are too important to give this over to, I would say, the deep state and the Democrats, who will do anything to hold on to power. And when Silk said how they get into power and hold on to it, look at Chicago. It hasn't had a Republican mayor, I think, for 100 years. You look at other cities, once the left gets a hold of them, Boston, San Francisco, it's very hard for the conservatives, for Republicans, to get that power back, because they seed the government with their cronies, and then they actually do work to steal elections. Look at what the governor of California just did with Prop 50, which I think may fall to a legal challenge by President Trump's DOJ.
I'm so glad that President Trump and the team are working on securing our elections, because I don't know about you, Carla, but the fatigue of hearing another election that have these possibilities that may have been rigged in some way. We're not saying that factually yet. We have to have the evidence and receipts. But to your point, you're not saying that. You're just saying, let's investigate and see how these numbers are adding up the way they are. So same-day voting or one-day voting, paper ballots, voter identification, and the list goes on. We need to have that before the midterms of 2026.
Well, also proof of citizenship, Matthew. We can't have illegals voting. Did you see the one mayor has been elected and is illegal and has been voting in elections? That's a felony. And so we have to prosecute it where we see it, but we have to secure our election. President Trump is right. And I just hope that your viewers will call their senators and ask them to pass the bill to secure our elections. They haven't passed it yet, and the Republicans have the majority in the Senate. So let's make sure we secure our elections, and for not just the midterms, but for the upcoming presidential in just 3 years.
Carla, have you ever been to New York City, and will you go back under the mayor that will be I guess, inaugurated on January 1st?
I just got back from New York City. I was there for the election doing election night coverage. And I will say that for another network, I will just say that when I was there, the city was almost silent. And the Jewish friends that I have there were saying to me, what do I do? What do I do? And I said, well, don't complain, stay and fight or leave. Don't complain. You have to make a difference. He is already trying to divest the city as soon as he takes power from any investment in Israel, any involvement with Israel. The Jewish people in New York City are going to feel the boot of the Islamists. And I'm not talking about our friends who are Muslim and Arab. I'm talking about the Islamists that want to install Sharia law into the United States, that are praying on the public streets, which they never do in Islamic countries. They're doing it to show supremacy and to take over power. And we had people at the new mayor's celebration. One was Mehdi Hassan, and another was Mahmoud Khalil. Mehdi Hassan is an Islamist who has been helping to install Sharia in the UK. And he talks about it very positively all over the world. And Khalil, he was supposed to be deported. He is an immigrant who lied to come in and get permission to be in the United States, but he's fighting to actually have Islamism, Sharia, in the US. He has chanted things like from the river to the sea. These are anti-Semitic and anti-Israel statements. It means the death of every Israeli. We can't have that in the United States. And I will say that the pressure is going to be on Christians and Jews in New York City. We have to fight back against this. President Trump, he has already said, you may not get funding because of your programs. In the United States, it's the Constitution that protects everyone's right to pray in their faith, to live their lives, and we can't have a mayor that's attempting to oppress a group like the Israelis and the Jewish people.
It's a great point. The freedom of religion, yeah, to pray and all that, but then not to be committing any kind of violent act or control over another person, which we've seen some of that happening in other parts of the world. A lot to talk about there. We just saw the Vice President of the United States walk into the West Wing of the White House as we wait for Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, to meet with President Trump. Carla, before I let you go, just one quick more. Can
I just share two things? One was the New York Fire Commissioner has already resigned. He's Jewish. He said, I can't serve under this mayor. And we can see that this is going to be a real fight in our country already. In London, the Muslim mayor has installed Sharia courts throughout the city, and it's happened throughout the UK. We can't have this in the United States.
Also, I'm hearing that Sadiq Khan in London also minimized and let go of 1,700 London police officers who, in London, the police don't carry weapons; they carry batons. So, anyway, it is.
And he allows the rape gangs. He denies the existence of the rape gangs.
And in addition to that, the massive migrant situation there, and that's what I was talking about earlier with the patriots in England that are saying, we want freedom. We're supporters of America, President Trump. We want freedom here. And we're seeing these things creep into London more and more, and into the country of England as a whole, there in the United Kingdom, seeing some of that in Ireland as well. And this is what is concerning, is that according to Laura Trump the other day said this communism thing might spread throughout the whole country if we don't speak up and fight for our, as they said, our rights, our constitutional rights through voting, prayer, hard work. We got to keep speaking this stuff. This is literally, in a way, I won't go that far, but I will just say we need to win this thing. We need to win.
Yeah, Matthew, true. Communism is un-American.
100%. We don't want communism here. We don't want terrorism here. We don't want globalism here. We don't want liberalism here. But you're allowed to be liberal here. But really, that's not a winning way. Anyway, Carla Sands with America First Policy Institute. Thanks for spending the time with us here on this Friday.
Thank you, Matthew.
Definitely. All right, so it's 11:48 Eastern time. Man, there's a lot going on, isn't there? I mean, this is stuff, again, that, a lot of places, especially in mainstream media and some other places, it's very scripted to this, and this, and you don't talk about that. You don't talk about this. Well, there's nothing that as the director was talking to me about one of the sponsors. I was in a thought pattern there. We'll get to All Family Pharmacy in just a second. But yeah, so whenever you're getting directed in a lot of the places that, in media, it's always these corporate, maybe woke entities that are really pushing on what you're supposed to say, what you're supposed to talk about. But what we've heard, if you've watched since 11, what time were we on? 10:30 this morning. Please do me a favor, just personally, if you want to. Replay, if you just joined us, just watch since 10:30 this morning and listen to the interviews with Kira Davis, with Silk, with Carla Sands, some of my commentary. And I want you to just kind of see what I'm talking about, because it's just stuff you're just not going to hear ever on mainstream media, just telling it like it is on repeat in some cases. Because as you guys know, I do repeat a few times and I say God, family, country, freedom, but really it's common sense for that. And how else can I be, guys? You know what I mean? That's who I am. So anyway, 11:49 Friday, November 7th. And we can get to more details about that too, if you like, in a little bit. Let's go to All Family Pharmacy. Let's go with the fact that you got that 10% off there. We're heading into the holiday season, a time for family, travel, and being together. But also the getting sick part can really slow things down. That's why All Family Pharmacy is helping Americans stay ready this season with fast, affordable access to more than 300 trusted medications, including antibiotics, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and antivirals like Tamiflu. Having the right medications on hand means you can act fast when someone starts feeling sick. No scrambling for last-minute doctor visits or waiting in crowded pharmacies. Everything is done online. So you request what you need. A licensed U.S. doctor reviews that order. Then from there, it's the approved medications will ship straight to your door, usually within a few days. It's a practical way to be ready before the holiday season, and it gives you peace of mind knowing your family is covered. So you can skip the stress, stay healthy, and enjoy the holidays. Allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Use that RSBN10 promo code to save 10% off. Again, that's allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Always consult, of course, a licensed healthcare provider before using any medication. Allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Also, let's be clear about cryptocurrency. It's no longer emerging. It's here. And this latest move cements that reality in a big way. So Trump Media recently inked that massive $6.4 billion deal with Yorkville Acquisition Corp and Crypto.com, the crypto platform trusted by millions of users worldwide. So they're teaming up to scoop up that $6.4 billion in CRO. That's the powerhouse token that fuels fast, low-fee DeFi, which means decentralized finance, staking rewards, and real-world perks like cash back on your spends. Now, this is to establish America's first CRO treasury, Trump Media Group CRO strategy. So when it's done, this new company will be the biggest publicly traded CRO holder out there. And if you want in on the action, all you got to do is go to crypto.com today and make crypto great again. So to buy CRO, visit crypto.com today. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to crypto.com. You'll get the details. 11:52 Eastern Time. If you'd like to donate to Right Side, all you have to do is text RSBN to 801-801 or just go to rsbnetwork.com/donate as we continue to grow and expand here at Right Side. Of course, as you see there, the Trump rallies over the years. I remember I was at that event where you see Vice President J.D. Vance in Morristown, Ohio, where he's from. And then, yeah, so all of the things that you see here at the network when it comes to the live feed we're about to see with President Trump, it all costs some dough. So we have great sponsorships, but also great products with those sponsors. So whenever you purchase a product with those sponsors, obviously that's indirectly helping out conservative media here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. So thanks for doing that. All right, let's go back to some live pictures. 11:52 this morning, Friday, November 7th. You see the West Wing of the White House. You see the front lawn of the north lawn of the White House as well. All right, so we're 8 minutes from the top of the hour. As soon as we see President Trump appear outside of that West Wing, and then we see Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, we'll take it there live. And then after that, we'll see the President and the Prime Minister in the Cabinet room as they'll have this bilateral lunch meeting. Great to see Viktor Orban in town today. This is obviously a leader that's on the right side of history, stands for all the right things, as if you've been watching, geopolitics or global.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. Taylor? Oh, Wolf? You don't have to apologize. You're on a job. But thank you for getting in the box.
This guy's on the right side of history, so it'll be nice to see him there. At 3:30 Eastern, the president will depart the White House for a trip to Florida, of course, back to Mar-a-Lago. So we'll be uploading those videos a bit later. In the meantime, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Commercial. These shouldn't take too long. Once you see silk at the end, that's typically when the commercial ends. Please smash the like button, guys. God bless you guys. We're getting there, guys. This should be the end. 1 minute.
allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. You can scan that QR code now, RSBN10. That is the code, easy to remember, for 10% off. This is ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, antibiotics that will...
So now they're showing pills. Hi.
Hey, that guy that is working on my house, he called me to let me know that most of it's finished.
Well, that's good. We're just waiting on Trump.
I thought you said he gets here at 11:30. What happened? He's running late.
It's Trump, okay?
On November 5th of 2024. Quite the audience we had that
Coming
night for
out
election
the
coverage.
office is when it's going to start.
Throughout all of the different social media platforms and all of our sites like Rumble, YouTube, and on. So great to watch those numbers come in back in the day. And then also, our app, website, so many places, Truth Social. So, yeah, great stuff. And then inauguration coverage had about more than 6 million people. So all of you guys, listen, when we're out there at those rallies over the years, it's all been for God, family, and country, right? And freedom.
Amen.
And for a president that is on the side of people. So we're really looking forward to a lot of wins for the next 3+ years. And, hoping, praying, working hard, and voting for the best outcome for our nation. And to really erase any kind of concern that I have, maybe you have, when it comes to any of our freedoms in the future, that kind of thing. It's not cool what just happened in New York City, as you guys know. So we'll keep monitoring it, though, I'll tell you that. And with God, all things are possible. So
Amen.
There's that, too. As a priority, right? All right, so 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's go to Lara Trump from Auburn University just the other day. You remember that TPUSA event? Well, she spoke some great truth that night, just like she does all the time. And it was great to see a mic drop moment. So let's go revisit that quickly as we await the president.
Yep, I recorded this the other day.
But I'll tell you, the thing with that race that scares me is that is the beginning, and that is the new face of the Democrat Party. If you think they're going to stop at New York, you are kidding yourself. It will be all over the United States of America, which is why we're going to have to fight even harder going forward from here on out, because we can never let this happen ever again in the United States.
And that's facts.
So we know that President Trump talking about securing our elections. We want that done, of course, by the midterms. Prior to that, there's just a lot to really kind of look at right now. And we want that strategy moving forward that's a winning strategy for our nation to save our country fully, not only for these great 3 years under the greatest president of our lifetime and one that is up there with the greats on Mount Rushmore. And as T.S. Dixon said, is he going to be a full-on Mount Rushmore president, or is it going to be a yearbook president situation? I'm leaning towards Mount Rushmore. And also, we'll see. We want the reforms to be locked in for our country for the future. We are literally in a situation where I think a lot of people say, you know what, God's got it all under control. And
He does.
This might be something that some people may disagree with, but that's okay. And I'm willing to say something like this because I truly believe it. There's a balance there. You know, if I, again, were to go to a workout facility and I want to get stronger arms, right? I want to get more buff. I can pray at home and say, God, and ask my wife, come on over, let's pray. God, I pray for stronger, bigger biceps, and it won't happen. But if I go and work out, it might happen, if I'm working the bicep muscle region, right? It's kind of the same thing with certain things in life.
Well,
if we didn't show up to vote in 2024, if we just said, God, you're going to do it, and we didn't vote, right? So that's nothing against God. God's the one that made us to have our own brains to go and work hard and get the job done. So that kind of, and if it helps people sleep at night that, yeah, God's got it under control. Yes, we know that we're going to win in the end. Yes, I believe in all things work together for the good to those that love God. I believe in all of it. Trust me. And to be honest, I'd rather have God take care of it all. And I don't have to do a thing. Hey, I'll just sit back then like this. All right, everything's good. Everything's good.
No, it's not. Start talking.
But we have to do our part. I know a lot of you believe in that, but just next time you hear it, God's got it all under control. It's true, but we also have to work hard as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, there's a timeline of things to happen in the Bible. We understand that.
God will help us.
Again, if you guys didn't go and vote, most of you didn't go and vote for President Trump, and we've just prayed at the house all together. We all had a pray-in. We're just going to pray, which is a great thing to do. I love praying, trust me. But if we didn't go and vote, would he have won?
Nothing.
So we have a lot on our shoulders, which sometimes that's uncomfortable for some people. I had to learn this. I always thought I could just pray and it's all going to work out. Well, yeah, you can pray, but you got to do some stuff too. Back to the point of, if I really want to get bigger muscles, and trust me, it ain't so big right now. I got to get bigger.
Big right now.
All right, anyway. All right, let's go to some of our sponsors here. Hopefully you liked what I said there. If you don't,
perfectly fine.
It is what it is. Let's go to callshe.com/RSBN. There's a lot of great topics there. If you want to bet, trade, or check out polls,
by the looks
here at
of
right
it.
side. More than 1 million users on Callshe.
What is it?
Use the app if you'd
By the
like. You
looks
can just
of it,
download that, or just go to callshe.com.
This is a poll. Who will President Trump pardon this year? By the looks of it, Jinping.
Yeah, I have Kalshi.
Roger or Steve? Oh, I think you're going to cut out again. You probably have another call. Nope, you keep cutting out. Yep, I think he had another. Maybe he went through a signal. By the looks of it, Jinping's probably going to be pardoned. Everybody says.
RSBN, or the QR code is still up there if you want to put your phone up to the screen. And if you're watching on your phone, I don't know how you'll do that, but just go to callshe.com.
Oh, since you actually said that, that reminds me. You guys can not donate. If you, I'm always grateful when you support me on Patreon. And if you want to, put your phone to that QR on the screen. It's above me. It should be on the left. Pull up your camera and the link will appear and just click it. Or however that works. If I'm not live and you want to still, which I'm grateful for, just go to my YouTube. The link for my Patreon is in my bio. Just click that link and it will direct you.
Oh, by the way, that's, I guess I can't show that real on TV. It's my 1-year-old baby. All right. Anyway, so let's go to another sponsor here at Right Side, angelpace.com. You can bring any breaking news. Meantime, on Truth Social, I don't know if we have any of the posts ready to go, but we could look at Truth Social and see what the president is saying on there. Specifically, I'll read one from 46 minutes ago. He said, if Republicans kill the filibuster, they sail to victory for many years to come. If they don't, disaster waiting to happen. President Trump 3 hours ago saying, just say no to the nuclear option, terminate the filibuster. 3 hours ago, President Trump saying a similar thing. Republicans, terminate the filibuster and bring back the American dream. If you don't do it, the Dems will, and you'll never see office again, President DJT. I want to stop there and just share my opinion about that. If you agree, go ahead and share it in the comments. If you're saying, you know what, Matt, you're right. A lot of projection going on from the Democrats. They were saying, oh, President Trump's the one that's going to get into office and he'll never leave office and we'll never be able to have, the balance of all this again. The projection part of it is if the Democrats actually get into power again, they're playing for keeps, in my opinion, and then we're the ones that actually might not ever get power again. Do you agree? Are they projecting what they want to do anyway? I mean, if they've cheated and if you've seen all the things that have happened over the years, what would stop them? Nancy Pelosi, the old and broken political hack who impeached me twice and lost, is finally calling it, quote unquote, quits. She illegally made a fortune in the stock market, ripped off the American public, and was a disaster for America. I'm glad to see the stench of Nancy Pelosi go. That was at 8:36 this morning. I believe that was Central Time right there. And yeah, so that was spoken by the president. He also talked about a number of other topics that I'm just tracking here on Truth Social right now. If I go over to the White House right now, they're talking about this one article about airlines cancel hundreds of flights Friday amid shutdown-related FAA reductions. So ABC News reporting that, even though they're fake news ABC. There are sometimes the fake news, when there's a hurricane maybe, or there's like different kind of breaking news happening. They get some things right, but that's how they hook you. They say, oh, watch this coverage. And then when it's time to talk politics, we got you. Anyway, the White House saying, still sitting at the gate. Thank your Democrat senators. They'd rather keep the government shut down than let Americans move forward. Time to open the government. It's true. And I checked on X yesterday, and I typed in flight delays. As you see the president posting that at about 11:15. And I was checking the flight delays around the country. I looked at Atlanta. I actually went to the Atlanta Hartsfield, Jackson Hartsfield Airport, the busiest airport on our earth. And I saw some delays here and there, but then I looked on X and I wanted to see who people were blaming about cancellations of flights and all of that, right? And I did see probably 5 or 6 out of 10 posts from various people all across the country saying, thanks, GOP, thanks for doing this to us. See, that's the point of the brainwashing that they're getting from the left-wing media. This has been a Schumer shutdown. Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer did this. The Democrats did this. That's not just because I'm a supporter of President Trump or a supporter of freedom or a supporter of the right wing. Or how about a supporter of truth? It's just the facts. The Democrats came to the Republicans before the government shutdown, right when it was about to be the government shutdown, which is the Democrats' government shutdown. And they go, we have a list of demands, and if you don't do these list of demands, we're not going to give you the continuing resolution and vote in favor of opening this government. We're going to let it shut down. And the list of demands were all anti 100% what President Trump's agenda is and what we the people voted for, things like the Medicare to give to illegal aliens and things, so many different things. How about the funding of NPR and PBS? Guess what? On the list of demands. So when they come to the Republicans and they say, you have to do this or we're not going to work with you, because this is all they have left. They don't have the power. We have the White House, so we have the executive branch, we have the legislative branch, we have, Congress and all that. We have more in the Supreme Court. So we're winning on paper. We have the majority of the vote. The massive majority of the United States of America are people that are anti-communism. anti what's going on there with the liberal ideology, the woke mind viruses, as the great T.S. Dixon, the author and conservative analyst, talks about. So we're in the majority, but the Democrats, all they can do is these little things like this that will really try and steer the ship in the wrong direction. But that's why President Trump's talking about, stopping the filibuster, the nuclear option, and on. Live there at the White House. Now, unless the honor guard and the various flags from the military, usually they stand right outside. Whether that's not happening today or it is, I don't know. But the point is, usually that's where we'll see the foreign leader who's meeting with President Trump arrive there. So that's the Hungarian leader, the prime minister, the great Viktor Orban. Of course, there's a CPAC Hungary, right? There's this guy's a conservative on the right side of history. So we're looking forward to seeing the coverage. Just as of right now, it's not happening yet. Let's go to a couple of our sponsors in the meantime. Let's go to covepure.com/RSBN. You see covepure.com/RSBN. You get $200 off for a limited time. It's all about drinking pure, living pure, Cove Pure, because at the end of the day, tap water is terrible. And having a water filtration system like this, that you can have cold, warm, or hot water to your choosing, it's healthy. It's not with all the junk that's in the water. It takes 99.9% of the water, of the stuff that's in the water that's not good for us to ingest, out through this filtration system. Talk about a good filter right there. Cove Pure, a great machine, nice looking machine. This is anti the tap water flow. So if you like tap water, okay, cool, but I don't think many do. Go ahead and type that if you'd like in the Rumble chat or wherever you'd like. If you like tap water, do you? I know there's some well water drinkers out there, and I know some people that do that, and okay, but I love this stuff. Protect what matters. Covepure.com/RSBN. All right. Let's go to crypto as well right now here on Right Side as we continue our holding down the fort until we see President Trump. Now, if you're just joining us right now, we had a number of interviews live with us since 10:30 this morning. We're just going to keep carrying the programming live, as you see there, crypto.com. And let's be clear about cryptocurrency. It's no longer emerging. It's actually here. And the latest move cements that reality in a big way. So Trump Media, just inked a massive $6.4 billion deal with Crypto.com and Yorkville Acquisition Corp. So here's the thing. They're teaming up to scoop up $6.4 billion in CRO. That's the powerhouse token that fuels fast, low-fee DeFi, which means decentralized finance, staking rewards, and real-world perks like cashback on your spends. So to establish America's first CRO treasury and strategy with Trump Media Group, we know that when it's done, this new company will be the biggest publicly traded CRO holder out there. And if you want in on the action, all you got to do is go to crypto.com today and make crypto great again. All you have to do to buy CRO is go to crypto.com and get all the details about cryptocurrencies. If you're so confused, just go to crypto.com, get some answers, as we have a great sponsor there in crypto.com. All right, so 12:12 Eastern time. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We're awaiting any movement out there outside of the White House. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on RSBN Live.
Welcome, guys. Trump is fashionably late, but it's okay. I pray that everybody is having a safe, blessed day. And thank you for joining. Don't be scared to chat with me. And if you want to get in the box, just click the link. We're doing a commercial right now.
The other day at Ole Miss for that TPUSA. This is the Turning Point event where Mrs. Erica Kirk was on stage, and I've played it a number of times, and our production crew has played it as well. because it's just a very important message. So while we wait for the president and this whole meeting to happen, let's go to Mrs. Erica Kirk from the other night in Oxford, Mississippi.
And at this moment, every single one of us has a choice to make, whether we stand for freedom or we're just going to fall for everything else. I just want this to be the generation that says, we will not apologize for loving our country first. We will not be silent about our faith. We will not back down when the world tells us to kneel, because we bow only to the King of Kings.
So she started out there saying, you know, if you stand for freedom, if you don't do it, you might fall for everything else. And of course, talking about not being silent about our faith, not being silent about our love for our country, and, you know, not kneeling to what anybody else wants us to do other than the King of Kings, of course, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, for those that believe in Christianity. If you don't believe in that as your faith, maybe someday you will. But the point is, we're all in this together as conservatives. And if you're not a conservative, maybe you're shifting over to the right side of history, because, guys, it's just common sense stuff that we're talking about over here in conservative media versus the mainstream stuff. And I'm not reading from a teleprompter. It's just straight up, right? So you hear the same from, you know, Robert McNeely, Christina Loren, myself, and others in conservative media out there. It's all about God, family, country, and freedom. And really, I don't have to say much more. We could just, it'd be great for the Prime Minister to show up right now. We'll take it there live. But it's been quite the broadcast that we've had for you. So 10:30 this morning we started. We interviewed Kira Davis. She's a conservative analyst, a conservative author, a journalist. Also Carla Sands with the America First Policy Institute. And we also caught up with the great Silk of Diamond and Silk. So we interviewed them a bit earlier today. And the schedule for the press guidance, of course, was at 11:30 was the time frame that Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, was to arrive there. So obviously, you know, a world leader on the way to the White House on a Friday in D.C. when some of the friendly skies, you know, are dealing with the situation of this government shutdown, thanks to Chuck Schumer. You know, who knows what's going on? All I know is this. We're looking forward to seeing the Prime Minister show up there. Also, usually there would be a GOP press conference today for the 38th day of the Schumer shutdown. As of right now, we haven't received word that there is one. So, but we know that for the past 37 days for the GOP leadership, including Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, you know, what more is there to say other than let's get this government open? And as I was saying earlier, the Democrats came to the Republicans some 38 days ago with this list of demands that were so anti what the administration is doing for our country. And of course, they're gonna do that. It's like, you do these demands or else. And the or else is what we're into right now, 38 days of the or else. So not fun. But a lot to be done for our country. I'm going to get to a few talking points here in a minute as we continue to stand by there for the president and the prime minister. Let's go to monetary gold. In the meantime, for years, the signs have been clear, but most Americans ignored them. Now, the storm beneath the dollar is impossible to miss. Gold has broken through $4,000 an ounce. Silver past $50, and it's not luck, it's logic. When governments spend beyond their means, when every crisis is met with another trillion printed out of thin air, the value of your money must fall. So history proves it. Every time a currency weakens, gold and silver rise to reveal the truth. These metals don't depend on promises. They don't vanish when confidence collapses. They endure. That's why the world's strongest institutions are moving into physical gold quietly but decisively. So now is your moment to do the same. Just call 888-617-7994 right now or visit rsbnforthegold.com. Take what you've built and make it real before the next headline reminds you that paper wealth is just that, paper. Let's go to All Family Pharmacy as well. We're heading into the holiday season, a time for family, travel, and being together, but also The getting sick part, hopefully it doesn't happen, can really slow things down. That's why All Family Pharmacy is helping Americans stay ready this season with fast, affordable access to more than 300 trusted medications, including antibiotics, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and antivirals like Tamiflu. Having the right medications on hand means you can act fast when someone starts feeling sick. No scrambling for last-minute doctor visits or waiting in crowded pharmacies. Everything is done online. So you request what you need, and then a licensed U.S. doctor reviews that order, and then the approved medication ships straight to your door, usually within a few days. It's a practical way to be ready before the holiday season, and it gives you peace of mind knowing your family is covered. You can skip the stress, stay healthy, and enjoy the holidays. allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN to get that 10% off. Use that code there that you see on your screen. And always consult a licensed healthcare provider before using any medication. Again, allfamilypharmacy.com. Great sponsor right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez holding down the fort for you as we get ready to see, hopefully soon, the Prime Minister, Viktor Orban of Hungary, and then President Trump there outside of the White House. In the meantime, back to some of the accomplishments we've been seeing over the past year, including, how about right out of the gate, the number one out of the 20 core promises to secure and seal the southern border. That's something that I was tracking right away. I just find it fascinating to see that our U.S. military's boots on the ground down there with the Customs Border Protection agents. Then out in the open sea, the U.S. Coast Guard and the Navy, really stopping any kind of drugs from coming into our country. And then the border itself, the border wall getting complete and finished from Texas all the way through to California. So that's being done. We see a post there from President Trump as well, talking about, this whole thing with this Democrat shutdown. If Republicans kill the filibuster, they sail to victory for many years to come. If they don't, disaster waiting to happen. So, yeah, we don't want that. So hopefully people do what's right. That's why we call it Right Side Broadcasting Network, or the right side of history. And that was what this election was all about, of course, as we're seeing some action there outside the White House, which is a good sign. You remember, we talked about the election leading up to it. It wasn't an election between right and left. It was an election between right versus wrong. Right versus wrong. And the left wants us to believe, not everybody, but the extreme ones, want us to believe that there is no right. Everybody's right. You can do what you want. Do what you please. It's all good. That's not the truth. It's not right to go and steal from a store, right? So anyway, that's the party over there. And it's terrible. Again, it's not Republican, Democrat, in my opinion, anymore. It's not right and left wing. It's truth versus lies, freedom versus tyranny. And the thing is, as my buddy said one day, he goes, it's about 800 people versus 8 billion. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, it's the 8 billion people are the people that want to be free, and it's the 800 globalist types that are just trying to control the masses. Well, there you go. Isn't that true? It's just a few. And then from there, they indoctrinate and brainwash and get the public opinion to sway. And then you have people that get voted into office like Mamdani. Anyway, 12/24, Friday, November 7th, just tracking the news. We've been talking a lot about the news stories going on as well as we await the president there. And actually, not really awaiting the president. We're actually waiting for the prime minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, to show up. And then the president will step out of the West Wing, and then the two will greet and say hello to the cameras, maybe say a couple things to reporters, and then the bilateral lunch meeting is in the cabinet room. And he's been having a lot of those type of meetings there as we see the Marines stepping out. So that is a good sign. But usually we've been seeing the president with a foreign leader meet in the Oval Office. Let's go to the president right now.
Our president.
President Trump, sir, any chance you'll meet with Putin in Budapest at some point? Should Hungary be allowed to purchase Russian oil?
All right, so a little bit of inside baseball quickly. Let's start with outside of the White House. You saw some of the camera crew out there. Of course, that's White House staff, people like Margot Martin and others, getting those videos that you'll see on the White House page coming up in a little bit, stuff that we retruth here at the network where I, posted, that kind of thing. And then from there, inside baseball would be the fact that the pool, when it comes to the reporters and the cameras, right now are most likely all already set up inside that cabinet room. So the president will walk in, Viktor Orban, the prime minister of Hungary, will walk in, and then that's when we'll see a picture come up live right here, and we'll toss to it live right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So that's how it's done. Sounds maybe easy, but that's a lot of work just to get to what we're seeing and doing here at Right Side, and just like with any network out there. But thank God for conservative media, people that are on the right side of history, spitting truth. Come on now, that's what we have to do. You got to go truth. Let's just do it. We got to win this.
Thank you for
the
tuning
midterms.
in.
We have to win the next presidential election. We don't want our constitutional rights ever to be taken from us. There's a lot that has to be done. And we're tracking it, we're monitoring it, we're talking about the stories here, including those indictments against Comey and others. These are factual stories, and we're talking about them. And it's just what is emphasized when it comes to the mainstream media. And the reason why we talk about them a lot is because they are about 90-95% of media. There's only about 5 to 7% of conservative media, and it's growing. And it's great. There's a lot of great, Gateway Pundit, there's a lot of different places like Right Side Broadcasting Network. There's a lot that's doing great out there, including Mike Lindell. Let's go with MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com. If you want to purchase any of the products there, of course, that'll help Mike Lindell, help the company, but also, purchasing high quality products, indirectly helping Right Side Broadcasting Network as well. So, MyPillow.com/RSBN. 6-piece towel sets are back in stock, as you see there. A lot of great products. How many of you guys have a MyPillow product wherever you're watching right now, whether it's Rumble, YouTube, maybe on Truth Plus, wherever you're watching? Go ahead and type down there, I have a MyPillow, or I have this or that when it comes to Mike Lindell. We all love Mike, and he's doing great for securing our elections, meeting with the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, talking about the paper ballots, talking about the machines and on. So, it's 12:28, the bottom of the hour, Friday, November 7th. Let's also talk about the fact that if you'd like, you can donate to Right Side. All you have to do is text RSBN to 801-801, or just go to that rsbnetwork.com/donate. We actually have one other way, too. A number of you actually send, and thank you for doing so, checks via snail mail. And we have a P.O. box for you. And again, as soon as we see the live feed from the White House, we'll be going directly there. You can mail us cash or a check to a P.O. box. All right, so let's go with 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Again, 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. And it's kind of your way of saying, you know what? Corporate entities that advertise on some of the other networks, we're not bought and paid for. We are a free grassroots from 2015, thanks to Joe Seals and his vision. And here we are 10 years later, and we're still kicking. And we're going to keep on going. And God be the glory. All right, so 12:30, bottom of the hour. We just saw the president, and we saw the Prime Minister, Viktor Orban. We will be seeing, again, in that cabinet room here momentarily, the live feed as the two leaders sit there and as all the cameras get organized and everything is up to par, then we'll go there live. So looking forward to seeing that. Of course, the pool camera usually right in the middle. So when we see that live camera, it'll be right in front of the Commander-in-Chief. This is going to be good because, every time's good. But hearing the president's opening, statements or comments, he may be hearing from Viktor Orban, and then opening up to questions. And then from there, the press gets cleared out, and then the two have their bilateral meeting. Again, Viktor Orban on the right side of history, a great, great leader out there in Hungary. A place that my wife and I actually, well, she said at first, she's like, I want to go to Budapest. I want to go out there. She has, a history of family from Hungary, so maybe someday. Hungary would be a great trip. I'd like to go to Italy as well, but we're not here for hearing where I want to travel. I've been to Australia, by the way, and Chad, Africa, Nicaragua, and a number of countries. And a lot of these places were for Christian mission trips back in college. Great, great times. You know, when you're younger, you think, oh, I'm going to go save the world. Well, at least you try, right? And we all have our stories, our journeys up and down. But anyway, live here at 12:31. It's the bottom of the hour, Friday, November 7th. Again, we were live 2 hours ago. And if you're just joining us now, today's a day that if you have a minute, maybe over the weekend, maybe you're bored on Sunday afternoon or something, just replay from the beginning. You want to hear what Kira Davis has to say, a great conservative journalist. And, a lot of times people tease their coverage, which is great. It's part of TV. But Kira Davis, man, she was on fire earlier. So was Silk. And so was Carla Sands with America First Policy Institute. So if you want to check it out, feel free. And if you're watching this on replay, thanks so much for doing that. And of course, all of you live right now, thank you again for streaming in as we continue to cover, pretty much 24/7 the news cycle. And speaking of that, today is day 38 of not the government shutdown. No. The Schumer Democrat government shutdown. We have to get the words correct because that's exactly what's happening. Mm-hmm. Of course, Nancy Pelosi announcing her retirement on the heels of Mamdani winning in New York. Isn't that interesting? She's probably thinking, now's a good time to retire. This is from earlier. Is that right, guys? You guys playing the replay? Okay, it's on loop. So this is just moments ago. We did see that live there. So, of course, Viktor Orban stepping out of the vehicle and shaking the hands of the president. And let's listen in on that audio, just in case some people missed it. Can we pick up that audio, guys? Okay, let's go to that audio.
President Trump, sir, any chance you'll meet with Putin in Budapest at some point? Should Hungary be allowed to purchase Russian oil? President Trump, sir, any chance you'll meet with Putin in Budapest at some point? Should Hungary be allowed to purchase Russian oil?
All right, so if you remember, if you were watching earlier, I was giving the inside baseball outside the White House there, right? So Margot Martin, the great White House staffer with the president, always with great social media videos and other videos that were being taken right there of the meeting between the two leaders. Well, case in point, this is the meeting between the two leaders and the transcript basically of that question, are you going to meet with President Putin in Budapest? And I don't know about you, but I was trying to read President Trump's lips. I didn't know what he was saying. Well, Margot does. There is always a chance. So the reporter said, President Trump, is there any chance you meet with Putin in Budapest at some point? President Trump said, there is always a chance. So there's the answer. And then, of course, calling the leader of the great country of Hungary, the prime minister there, Viktor Orban, a, quote, great leader, as we've been talking about here on the broadcast as well. So, again, all about freedom. You know, that's really what it comes down to. And the left might try and say this is about freedom for all these kind of different things, but freedom that is extremely morally opposed to the majority of what our country believes in. And, you know, I can get into more details, but I think we'll save that for another day. As it's 12:35 Eastern, we're looking live outside the north lawn of the White House. Those of you guys watching on your phone right now, or maybe on a laptop, an iPad, a Microsoft Surface, a flat screen, thanks so much for watching. We are live here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's 12:35, Friday, November 7th. In the meantime, Director, let's go back to Lara Trump from the other day. It's about a 22-second soundbite. This is very, very important, what she's about to say. If you missed it, here it is. Lara Trump from TPUSA in Auburn, Alabama. Of course, it was that great This is the Turning Point event from just the other night. This is all about Zohran Mamdani.
God bless you.
But I'll tell you, the thing with that race that scares me is that is the beginning, and that is the new face of the Democrat Party. If you think they're going to stop at New York, you are kidding yourself. It will be all over the United States of America, which is why we're going to have to fight even harder going forward from here on out, because we can never let this happen ever again in the United States.
Exactly.
So indirectly, a wake-up call. You know, I don't know if we needed to be awakened, but we're awake, and we see what happened there in New York, regardless of how it got to that point. Again, we talked about that earlier. What's the so-called inside baseball on that? Well, would you agree that after decades of being indoctrinated, then you get brainwashed, then rinse and repeat, then your public opinion switches and goes towards the extreme, and then you vote for someone like Mamdani? Again, I love social media. I'm so glad we have social media, because it's not just controlled by just a couple of the networks out there anymore. This is the news of the day. No, it's not. You're a liar. You're lying to us. You've lied to us for decades. And now we have the opportunity in America, in conservative media and in social media, to speak truth. And that's why in places like Brazil or in other countries around the world, they want to censor all of that. They want to say, be silent. But you know what, Director, let's do this. Speaking of trying to make us be silent, can we go back to Erica Kirk, Mrs. Erica Kirk from Ole Miss just the other day? Let me know when that's ready, please. Because she talks about not being silent and reasons why. And that's just something that, we're going to keep on keeping on, speaking truth, whether it's on camera, whether it's to our friends and family, whether it's out there, you know, canvassing neighborhoods to talk to people. Because that's why people do that, to win over the mind that has been indoctrinated. We need massive detox. If people voted for what they've just voted for in New York, that was because of years of indoctrination. But let's listen to the great Mrs. Erica Kirk from Ole Miss just the other day.
Welcome, guys.
And at this moment, every single one of us has a choice to make, whether we stand for freedom or we're just gonna fall for everything else.
Exactly.
I just want this to be the generation that says, we will not apologize for loving our country first. We will not be silent about our faith. We will not back down when the world tells us to kneel, because we bow only to the King of Kings.
We won't ever forget the great late Charlie Kirk. We won't ever forget his legacy. We won't ever forget the freedom that he stood for. God, family, country, freedom, his message. We won't ever forget his boldness and his faith. And most of maybe who's watching today, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our Lord and Savior, who did not stay dead on that third day, but rose again, just like the State Department of State, Marco Rubio, said in Glendale at that memorial. Let's go now to Washington, D.C. for President Donald J. Trump.
Here we go, guys.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have a friend of mine here, Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary. and he's done a fantastic job. He's a very powerful man within his country, but he's also beloved. They love Victor, and people that know him do. He's run a really great country, and he's got no crime. He's got no problems like some countries do, but probably has a couple of things that I don't know about, maybe that I don't want to know about. But he's a very special person. I've known him for a long time. We're going to be talking trade. We're going to be talking a little bit of Russia, Ukraine. We'll be talking about energy and energy prices. We have energy down to a pretty low point right now in the United States. We're drilling, drill baby drill, we call it. But energy costs are very low. Our general costs are very low. And I just saw that Walmart came out with a statement last night. They've done it for many years, that Thanksgiving this year will cost 25% less than Thanksgiving last year under Sleepy Joe Biden. So that's a big difference. That's a big difference. 25% less Thanksgiving. And I think that's a very good chart. They include everything that you need for Thanksgiving. So it's 25% less this year than it was last year. And that's true. That's emblematic of the rest of prices. Energy prices are way down from what they were last year. Inflation is almost non-existent. We have inflation down to a very low number, whereas Biden, as you know, is the worst inflation in the history of our country. So we're doing very well. We have a shutdown, as you probably know, because the Democrats have gone, they're crazy. They're crazy. But they don't care if they hurt the country. But we've approved it 14 times. We've approved opening up 14 times, and they keep rejecting it. And I guess maybe they will again. Let's see what happens. They want to have a lot of bad things happen, bad things for our country. We're not going to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into our country illegally. We're not going to do it. To people came from prisons. They came from mental institutions, drug dealers. They want to give them medical care. $1.5 trillion. And we're not going to do other things that they're requesting also. So I just want to welcome this really good person. I know him very well. He's a good person, and he's a great leader, and he's loved in his country. And Victor, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, President.
Thank you.
First of all, may I say that thank you very much for the invitation. It's good to see you, President, back to the White House. And good to be back after 6 years, anyway, again, to see you here.
Yeah.
As we have met last time. The reason why we are here to open a new chapter between the bilateral relation of the United States and Hungary, basically because during the Democrat administration, everything was ruined. So after your leaving president, everything was basically blocked, ruined, cancelled, a lot of harm done by the previous administration. In the last 10 months, President, what you have done, we are very much grateful for that. You restored the old level of the relationship. You improved the bilateral relation. You repair what was done badly by the previous administration. So now we are in quite a good position to open up a new chapter, let's say a golden age between the United States and Hungary. And we have plenty of suggestions for today: economic cooperation, military cooperation, and political cooperation. And the main issue, probably, President, you know, we are neighboring Ukraine, which is in war. It's the most important issue for us, and we would like to discuss with you how we can contribute to help you in your peace efforts.
And you've taken a lot of Ukrainians that needed your help, and you've taken a lot of them in your country, and everybody appreciates that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we do our best.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Mr. President, are you planning to give Hungary a carve-out on Russian oil, sir?
Mr. Orban has requested an exemption as it relates to oil that is coming from Russia. Is that something that you are prepared to do? And may I ask Mr. Orban a question in regards to that very issue?
Sure. We're looking at it because it's very difficult for him to get the oil and gas from other areas. As you know, they don't have the advantage of having sea. It's a great country. It's a big country, but they don't have sea. They don't have the ports. And so they have a difficult problem. There's another country that has that same problem, by the way. But when you look at what's happened with Europe, many of those countries, they don't have those problems, and they buy a lot of oil and gas from Russia. And as they know, I'm very disturbed by that because we're helping them and they're going and buying oil and gas from Russia. So that question could be really asked maybe more accurately if you talked about many European countries, not Hungary necessarily, because Hungary is in a different position. But many European countries are buying oil and gas from Russia, and they have been for years. And I said, what's that all about, right? Thank you. Yeah,
so that will be one of the issues for today, to explain clearly what would be the consequences for the Hungarian people and for the Hungarian economy not to get oil and gas from Russia, because we are supplied by pipelines. Pipeline is not an ideological or political issue, it's a physical reality, because we don't have port, exactly as the President explained to you. So we will negotiate on that point. It's vital for us anyway.
Mr. Orban, there are two pipelines, as I understand it. There's a pipeline from Ukraine and there's a pipeline from Croatia. And my understanding is that the pipeline from Croatia can provide all of Hungary's energy needs. As a result, why would you need an exemption if that's the case?
Okay. So when we discuss that issue, you should separate the gas and the oil. On the gas issue, which is very important for us, 90% of the Hungarian households based on heating system based on gas. So we have only one pipeline delivering gas to Hungary, which is the main pipeline, the Turkish one. What we got from Croatia is a very small volume supplementary gas pipeline. Okay, that's gas. Oil is another issue. So oil is coming from the Druzhba pipeline, which is the main supply, and that is a Croatian one, which is the secondary and supplementary pipeline. We would like to convince the Croatian government to enlarge it and make it possible to deliver more. Under these circumstances, it cannot be the main pipeline. It's just supplementary. But later on, with some big investments, it could serve better the interest of Hungary.
Mr. President?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. Many people see this meeting not just as an encounter between two countries, but as the symbol of the strengthening of a new conservative Europe alliance. Would you agree with that interpretation, and how do you see the future of Europe in the light of leaders like Viktor Orban stand up to Brussels bureaucracy and the globalist agenda?
Are you from Hungary?
Yes, I am.
I figured. The fact is that he's a great leader, and he's respected all over, not necessarily liked by some of the leaders, but, you know, those leaders have proven to be wrong. If you look at his stance on immigration and other things, you know, if you look at Europe, they've made tremendous mistakes on immigration. It's really hurting them very badly. He has not made a mistake on immigration. So he's respected by everybody. He's liked by some. And I can tell you, I like and respect. I'm a double. I like and respect him. And that's the way Hungary is being led. They're being led properly. And that's why he's going to be very successful in his upcoming election.
Mr. President, you said you were planning.
May I have a comment on that? You know, language is important because the Anglo-Saxon terminology is different from the European one. So to use categories can create some misunderstanding. So I would like to be clear as much as we can. We are the only government in Europe which considers itself as a modern Christian government. All the other governments in Europe are basically liberal leftist governments. So we try to do something from 2010 which is different from what the others are doing, even at the philosophical level and at the level of practice as well, as just the President described it, like migration. So we are kind of a special island of difference in a liberal ocean in Europe. And we consider ourselves as a modern Christian government. That's the proper category to describe what we are doing.
To both of you. Mr. President, you said you were.
To both of you.
Will that happen in Budapest?
We're talking, but we'll report on that later. Meetings with Putin. We were talking about that with Victor. He understands Putin and knows him very well. And I feel that, I mean, I'm going to let you say what you think, but I think that Victor feels we're going to get that war ended in the not too distant future. Victor, do you want to talk about that?
I'm strongly convinced. So the question is whether we Westerners are unified or not. The problem is that the President has huge peace efforts, which are just splendid and very positive for the European continent and all the peoples of Europe. But at the same time, we are not unified because Brussels and the Europeans has a different approach to the war. So the only pro-peace government is the United States government and the small Hungary in Europe anyway. All the other governments prefer to continue the war because many of them think that Ukraine can win on the front line, which is a misunderstanding of the situation. So it's a complicated issue. We will discuss it. It requests not just 2 minutes to respond to your question, but rather than our lecture. Sorry, not to continue more than that.
To both of you.
So you would say that Ukraine cannot win that war?
You know, miracle can happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. President,
Yeah, go ahead.
summit.
Thank you, Mr. President. What is your message to the EU? Because I'm from Hungary, and the EU wants to impose their woke policies on Hungary. What is your message?
Well, I think they should respect Hungary and respect this leader very, very strongly because he's been right on immigration. Look what's happened to Europe with the immigration. They have people flooding Europe all over the place, and it's hurting it. It's the crime rates are way up. A lot of bad things are happening. His crime rates are very low. They're the same as they always were, which is very little crime, because he's kept it the way it should be. Europe, I mean, I don't want to go into individual countries. They're all friends of mine, everyone. As you know, in NATO, they voted to go from 2% to 5%, and you know that nobody thought that was possible. And we had just about almost, other than Spain, a unanimous vote. No, I think that I think they respect him a lot. They don't agree with him, but actually, inwardly, I think they probably do agree. He was right on immigration. They were wrong. They are flooding Europe with people from all over the world, and Europe is becoming a different place. And I tell the leaders all the time, you better stop or you're not going to have Europe anymore. It's a very dangerous thing they're doing.
Mr. President.
Please, may I have a reflection on that? So on migration issue, just for clarification, in Hungary, the number of illegal migration is like that, zero, because we have a crystal clear system. If somebody would like to come to Hungary, first he should ask for that. If he gives the permission, they can step in. Nobody can step on the territory of Hungary without having a permission from the Hungarian authorities. This is the regulation, simple, well working. What is the consequence of that? We are under sanctions, financial sanctions of European Union, because we don't let the illegal migrations to come to Hungary and to the European Union as well. So we have to pay, just to inform you, we have to pay every day €1 million as a punishment to the Brazilian budget, because we stop the migrants. This is the absurd world we are living now in Europe.
Mr. President.
To both of you.
Go ahead, please.
Dear,
Yes,
Thank
go
you
ahead.
so much. Thank you. I'd like to ask what do you think, what do you believe after this meeting? Can you have maybe, or the European Union will have another opinion about, just because of this penalty, another opinion about Hungary because of the immigration and because of this kind of politics, which is not that strictly as the European Union directs. What do you believe?
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Hungary.
Okay. I do have that conversation with them, and I respect and like them. You know, they're all friends of mine. I think pretty much every single leader in Europe is a friend of mine. We get along really well. They've done everything I've asked them to do with NATO, etc. The only thing they continue to do is buy oil from Russia. That's not too good. But I told them they should respect this man. They can also learn from Victor. Victor has had a very hard stance on, more than anything else, immigration or even illegal immigration. He literally has accepted no one over the years. Think of how much greater these countries would be if they didn't have the tremendous crime that has come in with the immigration. People just flowing into Europe. They've got to stop it. And not only stop it, they have to reverse it. They have to get them out. We've done that here. We have 0 people coming in now. The borders are closed. We take people, but we take them legally. But we've done it very strongly, and we're moving hundreds of thousands, millions of people out. We had, of the 20 million people, 25 million, nobody knows even what the number is. They never knew. Biden had no idea. He had no idea. I don't believe he had any idea what was happening, because he wasn't about open borders. but we had open borders, and we had millions of people come in, and they were coming in from jails. They were coming in from mental institutions. They were coming in as drug dealers. We had 11,888 murderers. Half of them committed more than one murder. We're getting them all out. We're getting them out. He doesn't have that problem, but Europe does have that problem. Other parts of Europe have that problem. So, I tell them all the time, I stick up for Viktor Orban. Not a lot of people do, because in many cases they're jealous. They wish they did what he did. They would have no problems if they did what he did. And I have a bigger heart than anybody, but they've destroyed some of those countries. Some of those countries had no crime 10 years ago, and now they have quite a bit of crime. And I would say that I don't know anything about your crime levels, but I would imagine they're very low.
Down.
Huh? Not too high, right?
No, it's very down.
Mr. President, since you brought up, Mr. President.
No. Just a clarification as well. I'm not here to ask how President Trump to manage my conflicts or our conflicts with the European Union. This is our matter, so we will do it. What we need is a golden age, to open a golden age of the United States-Hungary relationship. That's the biggest help we can get from United States.
And maybe Europe too. We can include Europe, but it's going to get more difficult.
So inside the European Union, we will manage all of our affairs. To be the most possible humble guy, yeah? But I'm the longest-serving Prime Minister of Europe. I survived all the Prime Ministers who attacked us. And I'm sure we will survive next years as well. So we will manage our conflicts successfully.
Mr. President, since you brought up, Mr. President.
Question for the Prime Minister. Speaking of Europe, last month you said that you would not withdraw U.S. troops from Europe, yet a few weeks later the Pentagon decided to withdraw significant number of troops from Romania. So have you changed your mind, or the Pentagon ignored your assurance?
No, they don't ignore anything that I say. What they do is we make changes. We move. It's the same number, total number, but we move people around. I happen to like the Romanian people. I think they're great people. And Pete, you may want to suggest something right there, please.
Absolutely. No, nothing was uncoordinated with the White House. It's all part of the view that we have of Europe, and there will remain troops in Romania, but there's some change in how we rotate and how many we rotate.
And the relationship with Romania is very good, right?
It's very good, and we've coordinated all this with Secretary General Ruta, throughout EUCOM, throughout our allies. Everyone was notified in advance.
The relationship with Romania is very good. The relationship with Europe is very good. I disagree with what Europe is doing having to do with immigration, but I agree with them on many other subjects. We just signed the biggest trade deal ever made with Europe, $950 billion. We were able to do it because of tariffs. It was a deal that was good, very good, but we had a very unfair deal. We were treated very badly before I came into office, but we just signed. It's the single biggest trade deal ever signed. So we have a very good relationship with Europe. Yeah.
Mr. President,
what is the main dispute with the Russians which prevent the Budapest summit with Putin from taking place?
The basic dispute is they just don't want to stop yet. And I think they will. I think it's taken a big toll on Russia, a big toll on both countries, obviously, but it's taken a big toll. They're losing 7,000 soldiers a week. That's a big toll. And between the two of them, divided, with Russia losing more soldiers, actually. But they're both losing a lot of people. And that's the primary thing that, with me, it's not economic. It's not money. In fact, we don't spend any money. We send it to NATO. They pay us for our missiles and for our military and everything else. We don't. It's not a question of money. It was with Biden. He spent $350 billion. He got nothing for it. The war would have never happened. If I were president, the war would have never happened. I think you would agree with that. This war would never have happened if I were president. It's stupid that it happened. But it did happen. I inherited the war, and I think we're going to get it ended. Not too distant future.
Mr. President.
Yes, please.
So no question that if that time the name of the United States president would have been Donald Trump, there would be no war between Ukraine and Russia. That's clear. But what we are speaking about here is more than that, because without the pressure coming from the United States government, I'm speaking 2022, the Europeans would not take that hard line what they have today on the war. Remember that big countries of Europe rejected to be involved more than just sending some, humanitarian issues. So the pressure coming from the United States to be more pro-war in Europe. So that's the fact of the history anyway. So we have to restore something which was ruined and created from here, and that's the reason why I understand absolutely the devotion of the president now to do everything to stop the war, because that would be not that deep without the previous government pressure from here. So the reason why I'm here to be as much as helpful I can to contribute to the peace efforts of the president, because that was an enormous mistake what we have done, the Western world several years ago, and we have to stop it, and it's common responsibility.
Biden actually pushed for that war to happen. Okay, if you can believe it. Nobody can believe it, but it's one of those things. And now look what happened. Look what's happened to Ukraine. It's a much smaller country. A lot of people are dead. You take a look at it's a whole different world over there. And Russia has not been helped very much by that war either. They lost a tremendous number of soldiers and people. Look, that war should have been a 1 week war. I don't know why it's taken. This is 4 years. Should have been 1 week. Should have been over with, but it would have never started. Should have never started. And I would have solved the problem without giving up anything. Ukraine would have remained as is. So there were tremendous mistakes long before I got there. I inherited that mess, and we're getting it solved, along with the 8 wars that we've already ended.
Mr. President, since you brought up...
Mr. President.
What is America's interest cultivating better relations with the EU leader or not?
I think I can do both. There's no reason why I can't. I get along well with the European nations.
He is still a member of the European Union, so it's easy.
Yeah, and by the way, he's a member in good standing, I guess, although they penalize him every once in a while. But he's a member in good standing with the European Union, so he's a member. He's a part of it. But I get along great with him. I get along very well with them. I agree with him on immigration much more than I agree with them. But I agree with a lot of the things in Europe he also agrees with. But he had a difference, I would say, primarily on immigration more than anything else. And I happen to think he was right, because their whole fabric has changed. You go to some of the countries, they're unrecognizable now because of what they've done. And Hungary is very recognizable. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President. Will there be a peaceful meeting in Budapest still this year? What do you think?
You mean a meeting with President Putin?
Yes.
You mean in Hungary? Well, I'd like to keep it in Hungary, in Budapest. That meeting, it turned out I didn't want to do that meeting because I didn't think anything was going to be happening of significance. But if we have it, I'd like to do it in Budapest. Yeah, it'd be good.
Mr. President, you said many times to support Viktor Orban. Why is it important to win the next election, for example, for the United States, Hungary, and also Europe? Why is it important?
Well, I don't know his opponent. I don't know if he has an opponent yet. At some point he will, I guess. We always have opponents,
always.
Right? Not much of an opponent. But I'll be supportive of him. He's done a fantastic job. We've had a great relationship. The United States, look, we had a country that had no leader. It had an auto pen, illegal auto pen, totally illegal. And that's coming out stronger and stronger. But we had no leader in the United States. Hungary, as an example, had no relationship with the United States, even though we do, billions of dollars in trade with Hungary. Hungary's a big country economically. We do, billions of dollars in trade with Hungary. Why would they give that up? And they gave up so much else. Look, they gave up everything. This country was poorly run. I think if I didn't win the election, we might not have a country, if you want to know the truth, not a recognizable country. But our relationship was immediately good as soon as I won the election, because Victor's one of the people that's highly respected, and we had a great relationship with Hungary. We do again. That was an easy one.
Mr. President, do you and Prime Minister Orban agree on ways to put pressure on President Putin to come to the negotiating table to end the war in Ukraine?
I think we agree that the war is going to end Sometimes people have to fight it out a little bit longer, but I think we agree that the war is going to end in the not too distant future. Do you want to talk about that, Victor?
I have some ideas, and I will present it to the president. How to stop it.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. President, since you brought up the Walmart Thanksgiving meal, and it is cheaper, but it also contains less. As affordability continues to be an issue, well, that's what Walmart says. I'm with NBC News, sir, representing the poor. But, sir, as affordability continues to be a problem for Americans,
NBC's gone down the tubes along with most of the rest of them.
if I may ask, why do you think there's such a disconnect between the economy that you're describing day to day and the way many Americans say they are feeling and their concerns about affordability?
Well, they feel better about our country right now, other than the shutdown, obviously, which is caused by the Democrats, could be ended by the Democrats in 2 minutes. They feel much better. We have more jobs. We just set a record on jobs. You do know that. We have more investment in our country than any country in history. We're over $18 trillion as of this moment, and we're going to be maybe at 20 or 21 trillion by the time I finish up my first year. And there's been no country, China, no country in the world that's done anywhere even close to that number. Your friend Biden, as an example, in 4 years was less than $1 trillion. We'll be at 21 trillion in 1 year. So there's no country that was even close to that, and our country was a laughing stock all over the world. We have more jobs, we have more potential than any other country, and frankly, we're the hottest country right now. Victor said to me before, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Think of it. We'll have $21 trillion invested. We have auto plants pouring back in. We have AI pouring back in. We're leading China in AI by a lot. We're leading everybody in every category. There's no category that we're in second place. So I just heard this yesterday that Walmart said that the Thanksgiving was 25% more expensive under Biden. That's a big, to me, that's a big number because Walmart's respected. I mean, Walmart is Walmart, and you know they're giving you prices. So that would mean that the whole series of pricing and costs, you know, the groceries and everything else, it was a con job. It was a con job. Affordability, they call it, was a con job by the Democrats. The Democrats are good at a few things, cheating on elections and conning people with facts that aren't true. It was 25%. Walmart just announced it 2 days ago. 25% cheaper this year will be cheaper to have Thanksgiving than it was a year ago under sleepy Joe Biden.
And how long, Mr. President, how long will it take SNAP recipients?
Say it.
You said affordability was a con job, and you didn't want to. You said last night you didn't want to talk about affordability.
I talked about it. When did I not want to talk about it? I talk about it all the time. We are much better than Biden and all of them. Now, just so you understand, do you remember that the Biden administration had the highest inflation in 48 years, but most people say ever recorded? Do you remember that? Right? Do you remember it?
So, yeah.
Did they have the highest inflation in 48 years? Did they? Just answer me the question. You know the answer. The answer is yes. They had the worst inflation in 48 years. We have almost no inflation. We're down now to 2%, and we'll be at maybe 1%. You want to always stay above 1%, actually. You want a little tiny bit of inflation. We're at a perfect number. They were at the highest level in recorded history, okay? And when you talk about affordability, that one fact. Now, let's talk about the second biggest subject after inflation, energy. We're going to be at $2 gasoline. We're going to be approximately $2 very soon. We're a little bit above $2 right now for gasoline. Now, under Biden, it was $4.50. It even hit $5, but it was $4, $3.50. We're going to be at $2 a gallon. So gasoline's much less. Energy costs are less. When you have energy and when you have gasoline less, everything else follows. It's such a big category. So when you have lower energy prices, which I think you admit we do substantially, that means everything else. So we are the victors on affordability. But if I watched that election, which I was not much involved in, I didn't support Virginia, the candidate, didn't do a lot of support for the other candidates. They asked me about Cuomo, and I said, well, it's a question, do you want a thug or do you want a communist? I mean, that was my response. So I wasn't involved in that stuff too much. But I will say this, if you look at affordability, which they campaigned on, they lied because they talked about, oh, prices are up. No, prices are down under the Trump administration, and they're down substantially. Energy prices are down by 30, 35, 40%. Gasoline is way down. And the other big thing is inflation is way down. The biggest thing is inflation. The second biggest thing is energy. Energy is way down. And what's also down? Gasoline. Also, the biggest thing is inflation, and it's way down. We took over a mess, the highest inflation in recorded history. Some people would say 48 years. I'll take either one of them. But I believe it's the highest inflation in recorded history. That alone makes it impossible for them to have done a good job affordability-wise. So one other thing. When I came into office, Victor, 2 days into office, they were screaming at me about the cost of eggs. I was there for 2 days. Eggs had quadrupled. And I said, listen, I just got here. Let me check it out. And they were right. Eggs had gone up by 3-4 times. Within a period of a few months, we had eggs down to a normal cost. We did a great job on groceries and affordability. The only problem is the fake news. You people don't want to report it. And in fact, I'd like to ask Caroline. Where's Caroline? I'd like to ask Caroline a question. Where is she? Did she? Uh-oh. She deserted us. She deserted me. Our great Caroline superstar deserted me. Anyway.
How long, sir? How long
right
is it?
outside. Mr. President.
How long is it?
She was going to talk about because the fake news yesterday, they talked about that. They said, oh, I don't want to talk about affordability. The reason I don't want to talk about affordability is because everybody knows that it's far less expensive under Trump than it was under Sleepy Joe Biden. And the prices are way down. Caroline?
Yes, sir.
Could you discuss that question that was asked and how it was asked in such a fake, disgusting manner by the fake news?
Yeah, and I just saw it asked again here, and it's very unfortunate that the reporters in this room refuse to address, sir, what you just said, which is that you inherited the worst inflation crisis in modern American history, and you are fixing it in 10 short months, and your entire administration has been tasked with this effort, from Treasury Department to Agriculture Department to the National Economic Council right here at the White House. They are slashing regulation. He signed the largest middle-class tax cut in 6 months. In 6 months, in record time, putting more money back into the American people's pockets. So affordability is what the American people elected this president to do, and he is doing it, and you guys refuse to cover it, and you refuse to cover that the previous administration created the worst unaffordability crisis in American history. And I've been watching the TV all day saying that he doesn't want to talk about affordability. That's what he's working on every day, and that's what this administration is doing.
That's what I'm talking about right now. But you know why they refuse to cover it? Because they're fake news. That's why. Go ahead.
Can I get her for a moment?
Sure. Caroline, the Prime Minister would like you to work for him in Hungary.
Please consider.
Thank you.
You know what? That's a very good decision you just made.
President, on the,
Please don't leave us.
on the
Caroline.
shutdown, Mr. President,
please.
you spoke to Republican senators. They do not seem interested right now in getting rid of the
It's
filibuster.
too bad. They're making a big mistake. That's right. No,
Well,
but
what's the
they're
off
coming
ramp here? Is
way.
my question to you.
You're right. Wait a minute. The way to do it for the Republicans is to terminate the filibuster. They call it the nuclear option. This is the second form of nuclear. Very good. Very good. This is a good form. This is not a bad form. I would have been in favor of that a long time ago. But you know the Democrats are going to do that. And most of you will admit the Democrats are going to do that. So why aren't we doing it? And I think only a foolish person would be against that, especially when you realize that these are crazed people. These people are absolutely crazed, Trump derangement syndrome, whatever it may be. And I am totally in favor of terminating the filibuster. And we would be back to work within 10 minutes after that vote took place. And lots of other good things would happen. And it doesn't make any sense that a Republican would not want to do that.
If they're not going to do that, then it seems like you'd have to make a deal with Democrats to end the shutdown. Are you
Here's
open
some
to
of
that?
the things that we'd pass if we terminated the filibuster. Voter ID, no mail-in voting, no cash bail, no men and women's sports, no welfare for illegals. You could go on and on. This is 2 pages of things we'd do if you did that. Without it, I don't know that you pass anything because you can't deal with them. They're really irrational. They really are. But I was happy to see that a tremendous liability to this country. A woman that made herself rich in this country, Nancy Pelosi, has quit, and she'll be out of here pretty soon. And that I consider that to be a great asset for America, getting her out.
Yeah. Are you ruling out a deal with Democrats? You're not interested in a deal with
I don't
Democrats?
know. We'll see what they have.
On
we'll
Snap,
see.
sir?
But they're very destructive for the country. NBC, fake news. I'm not
On
taking you.
Snap,
Go ahead.
sir, what?
Are you worried about it backfiring in the future on Republicans? Should they get rid of the filibuster and then down the road?
Well, normally I would say, well, a little bit, but the reason that I'm not is because if they ever took over power, they'll do it. Look, Joe Manchin and Sinema are two people that are no longer in politics because of this issue. They were opposed to what the Democrats wanted to do. They wanted to terminate the filibuster. They were opposed to it. They're no longer in politics. They're gone. The Democrats will do this. So if the Democrats are going to do it, I'm saying Republicans should do it before they get a chance. It's very simple. And if we do it, we will never lose the midterms and we will never lose the general election because we will have produced so many different things for our people, for the country, that it would be impossible to lose an election.
Are you worried about an AI bubble?
No, I love AI. I think it's going to be very helpful. So many things are happening with it. And in addition to which, we're leading China, we're leading the world in AI. We're building massive electric plants that the companies themselves are building for their plant. I've given them the right because we need so much electricity for that. And just the word is electricity, believe it or not. Double the electricity that we currently have in the country for just the AI plants. And I've allowed those companies to rebuild and build electric plants along with their facility. We're getting approvals done in less than a month, sometimes in 2 weeks, for massive, beautiful, massive buildings. And no, I'm totally in favor of it. I think it's really going to be the wave of the future, and we're leading the world. We're leading everybody by a lot.
How long do you think the shutdown will last? How long do you think the shutdown will last?
I don't know. It's up to the Democrats. We voted, the Republicans have voted 14 times to open up the country, and the Democrats have voted 14 times to hurt the country, really. They should approve it, but they might not. That's why I like the fact that we terminate the filibuster. If we terminate the filibuster, the country will be open within 10 minutes after that termination because we'll take a second vote, which is the opening of the country, and the Republicans will vote to open the country. That's one of the reasons, not the major reason, by the way. I think it's less important than the other things that we get. But if we terminate the filibuster, the second vote that we will take will be to open up the country. It'll take 10 minutes and the country will be open.
Is there any room for bipartisanship? Because it seems like that's the main purpose of the filibuster is to create some sort of compromise. So
Well, it didn't work, obviously.
So how
You're
do you
right.
encourage
That was the purpose
bipartisanship?
of the filibuster, bipartisanship, but that didn't work.
So are you saying the next 3 years in Washington there shouldn't be
Well, no,
some level of...
if the filibuster is terminated, we will have the most productive 3 years in the history of our country. If the filibuster is not terminated, then we will be in a slog with the Democrats, and very little for either party will be done. So it's a good thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press.
Will it take
Thank
for
you, press. Let's go. Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, press. Let's go. Head out. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Head out. Let's go.
Well, that's the cabinet room. It's almost like you're in the room right now seeing that live picture. Inside baseball a little bit right now live on RSBN. Of course, Viktor Orban, the great prime minister of Hungary, visiting with President Trump there for that bilateral lunch inside the cabinet room. You see live right now the United States Marines standing outside of the West Wing of the White House. And we indirectly had a bit of a Carolyn Levitt press conference there as the president called her into the cabinet room. And as she was watching on some of the TVs, most likely nearby. Quite the back and forth there. A lot of news talked about, including this discussion and the fact that President Trump, if there is a meeting between he and Vladimir Putin, he wants it to be in Budapest, Hungary. And That reminds me, on a much lighter note, of a text correspondence between a fake news reporter with the Huffington Post and Carolyn Levitt just a few weeks ago. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you can actually check this out online. It happened, I believe, around October 20th. The reporter apparently asked Carolyn on text and some others at the White House there, after a long, drawn-out text correspondence about who suggested Budapest. And Caroline's answer back, your mom did. You can check it out if you want. How about making comedy great again? Also, in other news we're tracking, sources are telling Pat McAfee of ESPN that President Trump will attend the Detroit Lions at the Washington Commanders game on Sunday afternoon. Apparently, he'll attend the Veterans Celebration at halftime. Again, that's from Pat McAfee over there at ESPN. Saw that on Breaking 911 on X. We'll wait to independently confirm that. Of course, we get the president's schedule here on a daily basis. So we'll bring that to you if that is confirmed. Whenever we get that confirmed. It's a beautiful vantage point right now, as you guys see, of a gorgeous fall day. It's Friday, November 7th, 1:20 Eastern time, outside of the White House, looking beautiful with the American flag there. 3 of them, actually. 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and 1 on top. All right. We've been on the air since 10:30.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, hi, how are you? Oh, you can hear me?
Media,
yes, I can hear.
Mainstream media.
Good. Oh man, I was watching a little bit about what's going on. Oh my gosh, it's brutal. It's brutal.
As you know, we have
Ooh.
I've been here for 3
Those
hours.
reporters are crazy. But that was good. That was good.
Yep. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That's why I didn't want to interrupt. I can't stay here too long, but anyway, I just thought about jumping in and say hi. How's it going? On the other hand, I just have to freaking go to work soon because I got something came up, emergency, and God forgive me for saying this thing. I gotta work on Chinese servers, and it just some of the stuff I don't understand because it's like, you know how you do the translation from Chinese to English, even you use Google, and it's not really like 100% perfecto. Yeah, so it's like, oh man, I gotta do a procedure before I remove this part and then do it and then configure it and then program it and make sure it works, and then somehow you can even work with them via, let's say, Teams or anything else. They have their own chat system like WeChat or Ding Dong or whatever. Anyway, so Ding Dong. That's what it's called.
Ding Dong.
Ding Dong. Yeah. So what's going on? What you doing?
Nothing much. I've been here for 3 hours, but
That's good. That's good. You really I think you really enjoy this stuff, don't you?
Yeah, and then I guess Sunday Trump is going to a football game or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Something. So I'll be broadcasting that once once Right Side Broadcasting gets that scheduled. I can get it myself. It's come on, guys, chop, so I get it scheduled.
Chop. Oh, I love it. That's a good one. I like that.
Then December 4th, Trump and Melania is going to light up the big Christmas tree. So I'll be broadcasting that.
Oh, that's right. But that's way to go. You got almost 2 months.
Yeah,
that's nice.
but I don't mind scheduling it.
No, not at all. Wait, I don't hear Trump. You stopped him?
No, he's done.
Oh, you just had that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Ministry of Hungary.
Yeah, he's good. I love the way I love his stance on immigration. He did not let anyone, zero. Listen what he just said. He said, I am not saying I do not want anyone to come in. I want people to come in the legal way, number one. And because he's doing the right thing, his country is being punished by the European Union. Can you believe that?
Exactly.
See, we are living at the end of time.
The amount of time that Trump has been in office, and he hasn't really been in office too long, but everything that he has done, you can see a big difference.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I'll tell you one thing, there is, I believe, good versus evil. That's all I have to say.
And I am proud of him, but I give more glory to Jesus over all of it.
Amen.
Because there is a major shift, not only what Trump's doing, but Christians. There is so much more people coming to Christ, if you haven't noticed.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But
So glory to Jesus.
amen. Amen. Well, anyway, I just thought about jumping in and see how things going, and I love your stream. Lately, you're doing a really great job because I mean, I'm sorry I didn't mean it that way lately, but I mean you have been capturing the best moment and the important, like
I
when
want I always tell people to share my content so I can get more amazing people to discover my channel, because I want my platform to not just be obviously about Trump, but I really want it to shift it to Christ too. I want it to inspire people and even educate people. So I want it
that's
to
good, but
I want it to do good.
that's good. That's good. I mean, you're doing what you're doing, but on the other
If
hand,
it's in
is
God's will that it will, it will.
yeah, no, that's something not to worry about it. This is something you just go with the flow, and you're
Exactly.
doing a good job. But then on the other hand, is what you need to do is lately I noticed that you have been more outspoken, like but you do not interrupt the president, let's say, or others, because people they are more eager or interested in to hear what the president has to say. You know what I mean?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I try my best not to.
Yeah,
But
if you do,
actually in
they're
here.
gonna leave.
Wolf was actually in here earlier.
Who?
Wolf, he came
Oh
back.
yeah, the trucker.
Yeah, he came back into the box.
And you know what? Maybe he stopped to clean his windshield because last night when he was driving, I think where was he driving? Virginia or something?
I think he was going to California.
California?
Yeah.
No. Holy
Mhm.
macaroni. That's a long trip.
When I first started talking to him, he was in Maryland.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he seemed
I
to be
just
young
pray,
and single, maybe. That's why he don't mind doing it now. But
yeah,
let
I
me
pray
tell you
that
something.
he
God
will
bless
be,
those truckers. It's not easy. It's
I pray
not
that
that
he'll
easy.
be safe.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If you think about it, in this world, we honestly serve one another. Did you realize that?
Absolutely, that's how the
It
world is.
doesn't matter if you're rich, young, old, poor, we are honestly serving one another. Think about it in a way that without truckers, we won't be having our food on our table, right?
Without truckers, exactly that. Without people who works with electric, we
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to have lights. We wouldn't be able to have heat.
exactly.
Like everybody plays a vital
Exactly.
role. Let's
Exactly.
say a tongue
Exactly.
twister.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You're 100% correct. We serve one another and glory to Jesus. You're right. I agree with you. Well, anyway, Reina, today is a little bit nice, but it's cold, which is, obvious
Yeah,
November
it's 57.
57. Oh, 57. Huh. All right.
Temperature is to drop next Monday.
Oh, no. I gotta get a jacket.
Just don't get sick, okay?
I'll take an aspirin.
I'll take that. That's good then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ciao.
you beautiful
Cheers.
people.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Where's your coffee? Where's your drink?
It's imaginary right here, okay? Cheers.
Your imaginary coffee. Ah, that's a good one.
Let's drink air.
Oh my God, you're cool.
God bless every one of you beautiful people.
God bless America, land
When you wake
I
up, give glory to
love,
Jesus because
and
you
stand
woke up.
beside her and guide her. Oh, I
That's
love
a
this
good song.
song. I don't know how to sing it, but I love this song.
Good job. That's actually, no, that's a good song.
I
don't know
just
who
want
sings
I
it
just
though.
want to say something quick to you.
What?
I love this country, number one, and I pray for this country and our leaders. Even there are people who I disagree with them, it's okay. But here's the thing: what I do not understand, which I do not like or support. Anyone who comes into this country or any country, you are coming in as to support, to love, and stand up for this country. Anyone who stands against it, talk crap about it, or burn the flag, or do anything, thank God Trump, he said, anyone who burns the flag, you will go to jail now. Thank God. But the point is, if you don't like this country, leave. Don't say anything stupid about this country while you are here. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And
I
yeah, what do you think?
I was born, obviously, in this country, and I will proudly, boldly, and fiercely stand with this country. But most
Yeah.
importantly, I will have Christ by my side while I'm standing with this country.
Amen to that.
I love my
Amen.
president very much. I'm very proud of him, but I know that there's some things that I don't agree with. Everybody, we can agree,
Mhm.
disagree. But most of the stuff that he had, I would rather think of the positivity that he's doing than some of the negativity that he's going to make mistakes, and at the end of the day, he's probably thinking, well, crap, I should not have done that, but he's not going to show it. He's going to work around it. But at the end of the day, we just need to trust in God that he has everything under control. Everything
Amen.
is falling into place.
Amen.
We will have to, especially New York, exactly what that woman said. You're going to see the worst before you see the good.
The
So
results. Yep.
the God is bringing the evil out to for everybody to open up their eyes. So we have to go through the bad before we can finally see the peace in it.
Hmm.
So we just, instead of breaking down and fearing, we got to stand boldly and proudly because we know who we serve, and we know that at the end of the day, it will get better.
Oh, I want to make sure my badge is not shown. Oh, okay.
Yeah, please don't show your badge.
Yeah, I gotta go work on Chinese servers. Oh my gosh, Lord help me.
I'm
It's
praying for you.
you heard of a website or a company called Alibaba?
No.
How about TikTok?
Yes. Who
Okay,
does?
and all these, yeah, that's the hosting on those servers. But there
Didn't
are
not
some,
Elon
huh?
Musk buy? Didn't Elon Musk not buy TikTok?
It's not about who likes what. It's money.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just money. That's how it is. But this place that I'm going to, it is, oh man, I complained a little bit. Not like I don't want to do the job. I complained about the environment. It's kind of freaking hot, damp, and you can hardly breathe. Hey, somebody's in the, hey, there's a trucker.
It's me again.
Oh no, your windshield again, man. Come on, man. Please do something about it. I love this guy.
No, my windshield's a little better today.
Oh, looking good, man. Oh my gosh, Raina, look at his windshield.
Oh my goodness!
Clear
You
this
finally.
time.
Oh, I
There
could
is
even
no more bird poop.
look. You could even read the what is that? A part number, or it's not on that on the
It's
back of the truck,
the number for the truck.
and it's a
Yeah, I
Hyundai.
guess it's this trailer number. Yep.
Oh, it's a trailer number. Oh, okay. H.
But yeah, it is a Hyundai.
It's backward. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's inverted.
Well, you don't have mirrored or something.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Nice. Raina, she said you're going
And
to
then I'll be-
California.
Didn't you
No,
not come
I'm
from
headed to Chicago. What was
Oh no, Chicago.
Well, you said you came from Maryland. That's where you were coming
Yeah,
from?
Maryland. Yeah.
Hey, Wolf, there is a trucker that I used to know through Raina, and I know she no longer talked to him. But anyway, make a short story. She said to me, he said to us, I should say, there's one state or one place he will not go to is Chicago. Do you know what's going on
Yeah.
there? Like why he doesn't like to drive there? Go ahead.
So right now, if he said it like currently, it would be because of the immigration stuff that's going on. They're cracking down so hard trying to get these illegals out of the country that if you go through Chicago, you'll see they're in a straight line. There'll be like 8 cops, and they're all driving in a straight line. And they'll hop out of formation, pull somebody over, and then they'll like swarm them. There'll be so many around them. And then once they finish traffic stop, they move on to the next one. So it's like right now, if you go to Chicago, you're very likely to be pulled over. It's a high chance that you'll get pulled over. But if you're not doing anything illegal, you don't have anything to worry about,
But we're not talking about immigration. I think I'm talking about truckers. Like some truckers wouldn't go to certain areas to drive. Someone else mentioned that the roads are not what they seem to be. Like people get lost, low overpass, disorganized roads, something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
roads are so crazy. It's not as bad as Texas, but it is pretty bad. Where you'll be driving and it'll say, like, let's say that you have a turn on the left hand side, and you'll get up to your left hand turn, but actually there's 4 left lanes, and yours is the third from the left. So it's actually a right hand turn, but your GPS is telling you it's a left turn. And so you have to like really read the signs, and GPSs change and roads change, so all that confusion just makes it very difficult to navigate through Chicago.
What
But
GPS are you using?
I use a Ray McNally and a.
You're not using one of those GPS for cars now. I hope not.
No.
If you do,
Mine
you have to
is.
be careful because he's gonna show us his GPS. Yeah, because some drivers they get lost or somehow on the wrong. What does it says? Did you get it, Rain? I didn't get it. What was that?
FOT?
Yeah, he moved it fast. I didn't get the name of the Jeep. What I'm saying, there are GPSs only for truckers. You know that.
Yeah. Mine is specifically for truckers. I
Okay,
actually spent.
good. Because
Yeah.
how much is it? I bet you
That's.
500 at least.
Yeah, I was about to say on my Garmin it was five. No, on my Ray McNally it was 500, and then my Garmin it was 300.
Why you have two?
Because really, like one of them kept on dying on me, and so I just got the second one. Yeah, and so I barely use that one that has the charging issue. I should get it fixed so I can start using it again, but as of right now,
Where are you from? Wolf? Like which state?
I'm originally from Louisiana, but my parents moved to Mississippi when I was young.
Okay. Are you aware there are some states, you probably know, you've been a trucker, there are, especially like in New York, New Jersey area, where it says big signs, for instance, parkways, it says big signs, use expressways, not parkways, and there are some truckers where I honestly happen to be on the parkway in Jersey, Garden State Parkway, where I helped truckers to tell them, get off the exit ASAP.
Yeah.
And they were so thankful. But here's the thing: how did they get on the parkway with a big sign before you get on the highway?
Mm-hmm. It's probably because, they were trying to skip traffic. Maybe traffic was backed up, and they thought that they had like a little, they're gonna skip traffic. But come to find out, there's a reason that it says that.
Oh shoot, man! That's scary, man. That's very scary. Let me tell you something, man. I saw this guy one time. I think. By the time he saw the low overpass, at least he pulled over and he's stuck.
Yeah.
He couldn't back up. How far can he back up on a freaking highway?
Yeah.
But what happens now if he had to get his trailer towed or anything? Is that on the trucker's expense?
Yeah, so most likely.
Oh no.
Yeah, the trucker's gonna have to pay for it. But luckily, most of the time it won't cost anything. It'll just be a headache for the city, because what'll happen is they're gonna have to close off one lane, and then he's gonna have to back up in that lane all the way until he gets to a turnaround point.
What about if he went under low overpass and he damaged the trailer or the transport, the merchandise?
Yeah, so I've actually seen that happen with my own eyes twice, where people went up under. Yeah, and in those situations, the driver loses their CDL.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, like it's pretty bad.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean he loses his CDL? How? I mean, he could say it's an accident.
Yeah, but that's like an incompetence thing that is unacceptable for the industry. If you go up under a bridge, that's one thing that they drill through your head in training, is that there's some bridges that aren't, tall enough for you. And so you always have to be on the lookout. Now, there is one exception. If you go under a bridge that's too short, but it didn't have no warning on there, then it's actually the city's fault, And so sometimes that'll happen, and it's very unfortunate for the driver that went up under there without any warning. But yeah, that happens sometimes.
So how about, I mean, That's why I'm asking all these questions, because I've been told Chicago is one of the disorganized signs,
Yeah.
roads, and even your GPS could be way off.
At
You
this
gotta be.
point, I've been to Chicago so many times that I
Oh, so
have
you
it all
know. Okay.
memorized.
So you're
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, if I didn't know what I was doing, there are plenty of bridges in Chicago that aren't tall enough for a truck to
See,
go
see.
through.
Some
Yeah.
truckers will
So,
refuse to go there. Did you know
yep.
that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I don't blame them. If, hey, listen, if just like you said, why should I get lost or get under a low overpass or something? Even my GPS is wrong. I mean, how the frick are you gonna? You're not driving you're not driving a car. You're driving a freaking what is it? 52 trailer, right? 52.
Yeah,
Is it
53-foot
oh, 53?
drive in,
53.
or a reefer.
Yeah, yeah. What do you mostly have? Is it frozen food or regular food? Or I mean, you know what I mean?
So, shout out to Campbell's Snacks for this one. But
Yay! Get it, get it, get it. Back up a
but-
second. Back up a second. I want to see how that looks. Back up, back up.
hold on.
It's the minions.
Yeah, it's the minion. Ah.
Yeah, they only give these to me when I drop off at this location.
That's nice,
So,
man.
yeah, that's what I'm hauling. A bunch of golden what do they call them? Goldfish?
Yeah, goldfish.
Yeah, goldfish.
Yeah. And I love them so much.
Are they paying you by the miles?
Yeah, they pay me per mile.
You know, you could say no comment if you don't want to say it.
No, I mean, I'm very open with
How
my.
much they paying? That's what I want to know. How much they paying a mile?
So I get paid 58 cents a mile, and then I have bonuses. So my bonus, I drive about 12,000 miles a month, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. But with that, I also get a 6-cent bonus every month.
Do
So,
they pay you empty? Let's say when you go on to pick up
yeah.
something or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get paid empty miles, loaded miles.
It's same pay?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I heard differently, man. I heard that when you're
Yeah.
empty, you get paid less. Or
Maybe
no money.
Those-
company.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
a lot
heard,
of
Raina.
scam companies will charge you less or pay you less when you're empty. But
Yeah.
my thing is if you're driving, you're driving.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I think your company taking care of you good. Is it big company?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you to say the name of the company. I don't want you to get in trouble. But is it a big
Oh,
company
no,
or a
it's-
private company or what?
Yeah, it's a great company. I love the company, and there's
man.
only about 20 truckers with this company, so it's pretty small. But at the same time, like I'm the recruiter. I always try to recruit for them.
Really?
Any chance that I get, I recruit for them, and they actually pay me $500 for recruiting.
That's nice. Why don't you recruit Raina? She likes to
I
drive
tried.
cross country.
I told her it'd be such a good option for her.
Yeah.
Talking about, I'll be scrubbing your windows while you're driving.
What the heck?
What are you doing? A bird pooped and you can't see. Keep on the
wow.
road.
She's crazy funny. I love that.
People are going to be looking, what is wrong with that woman? I'm cleaning the window. Mind your business.
Yeah, right. They'll be like, ooh la la. They'll be blowing the horn at you, woman.
Service, okay? Does your windows need clean?
Uh,
I don't want you out of my window while I'm driving, cleaning it. Well,
how about, let me ask you this also, Wolf, about the, you know, the, what are these things called? The log. Is it done now electronically?
Oh yeah, all the logs are electronic, and
Nice.
yeah, even if I don't want the log, it's still going to be counting. It's still doing its thing. And I personally don't like it because I'm a young person that has an amplified amount of energy.
Right. You can drive more, and they can't. Yeah.
Yes, I could drive probably double what I'm legally allowed to drive. But, you know, they have legal limits for a reason, I guess.
So you get penalized, God forbid, if you drove over the limit?
Yeah. Now the thing is my company doesn't report it. So my company wouldn't report it to them, but let's say I get pulled over by DOT and they catch it, then I would get penalized.
Yeah.
And then
no,
I
it's
think
not worth it. It's not worth it, man.
yeah, I think on that one it's a strike 1, strike 2, strike 3 basis. So if you get 3 strikes, you're out.
You could lose your
Just like
CDL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like baseball. Reina, that's a good one.
2 strike, 3, you're out.
Hey,
Don't get straight.
where have you ever came across the biggest rest area, and which one you like and which one you avoid?
So my favorite, well, I mean, as far as truck stops go, I know there's the I-7 or I-80 truck stop in Wisconsin, which is the biggest truck stop in America, and it's huge. It's I-80 truck. Let me see. It's I-80. Maybe it's I-80 truck stop.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's the biggest one in America, and it's huge. Like they have 18-wheelers inside, like for show. Yeah.
Nice.
And then
You should hold on a second. Next time when you go there, please like pop in here. We would love to see it, man. You could show us, like take your phone, just show us around. We would love to see something like that, man.
Oh yeah, and I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'll be great. And Reina, when he does that, make his screen bigger so we can see it much better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. Also, I was gonna ask you that rest area. It probably has, like, you could sleep there. Oh, we lost him.
He lost connection. I'll probably
Yeah.
call.
I was gonna ask him. Probably they have like Reina. They have truck cleaners, like truck car wash. Truck wash, I should say.
Yeah, truck.
And they could probably bathe. They could also sleep there, but I don't know if the prices are fair.
It depends on where you stop.
Or he probably got a phone call. That's how he gets disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nice. But I wonder which one is the bad area, which he didn't tell us. He didn't get a chance to say that. Yeah, you know what? I've seen something, Reina, on YouTube where some truckers, maybe newbies, you should see what happens with other truckers. Let's say they're trying to back up the truck and they smash someone's mirror or they screw. OMG! I was gonna ask him like that. Have you ever seen any mishap between truckers where they do stupid thing, or some guy who bring his truck to fuel and what he does, he put it into fuel, right? And he takes off. He go inside to get something to eat, to get a drink, and where other truckers are still waiting hours, and then you should see the brawl, the fight. OMG. Have you seen something like that or no?
I don't think I
Yeah,
have.
I did. I didn't know all these things. See, I'm the kind of guy, like, I'm always like to know everything in life, like from, for motorcycles to autos to truckers to different kind of occupation. And that's something I found out. And it makes sense. Like, why would you want to bring your freaking truck and fuel the truck and then go inside, take your sweet ass time, maybe go into the bathroom, eat, or shower, whatsoever. But you got other truckers, they need to fuel. Once you fuel, get that freaking truck out of there. And it made a lot of sense.
It's raining outside.
Oh, it's raining by you? All right, then go catch cats and dogs, woman.
Time to go wash those cars. I don't want it to rain cats and dogs.
All right, listen, I'm going to let you go right now. I have to go to work because I need to
be safe.
Be safe. That's all you know how to say. I'm going to go catch cats and dogs. You got a problem with that?
Catch the dogs, avoid the cats.
Why?
Because cats always use their claws. The only thing you got to worry about the dog is probably getting trampled.
Yeah, just imagine cats and dogs coming down at you. Yes.
All right. He had a question for you.
What
was your question?
Oh, what I was gonna ask? Yeah, I was gonna ask those. I think I asked something like this. When you're at the rest area, have you ever seen anything mishap, brawl between drivers where they do stupid thing? Let's say, have you seen someone clip someone's mirror, or someone bring in a truck and fuel his truck and he goes inside the rest area, get something to eat, drink, or maybe poop his heart out, as they say it, and hold all these truckers like, what are you, get that freaking truck out of there. I need to fuel my truck as well. And I've seen this on YouTube, and I watched some of these shows, man, documentaries, I should say. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, so I've seen where, something that actually happened to me after being out here for 3 years. I actually just about 2 days ago backed into somebody's mirror and clipped their mirror off. I've been out here for 3 years and I finally did it myself. And I'm kicking
I'm
myself
sorry,
for it.
Frank. Yeah, Frank. He said, yeah, cowards as usual. I think he agrees with us. He said they're cowards. They shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, and I think what he's referring to is like there will be truck drivers that will go and they will, you know, unhook your kingpin, which will drop your trailer, and they will do a lot of mischievous things to your truck because they're mad at you. Maybe 100 miles ago you cut them off, and now they met you at the truck stop, and
OMG.
and they're gonna do something like that.
You know. By the way, you brought something very important because I know a little bit about trucks, and that's something. I just want you to tell me if it's true or not. Even you may be guilty of it as well, but you don't want to elaborate on that. That's fine. Did you know that there are some guys, if they want to get back at someone or they gotta get them into trouble, they go like what you just said, which I learned about the kingpin, that connects the trailer with the tractor, and they do not lock it. And if you do not inspect your your pre-trip inspection, and you take off, you could rip all the hole and everything. Have you ever? Do you really check that before? Most of us, we don't, right?
Yeah, well, I do my pre-trip every day, so I'll have to walk around my truck, make sure everything's right. One thing I don't do is I don't necessarily check the kingpin as often as I should, because that's one of the things that like you assume that nobody's gonna do that.
Right.
And so it would be very unfortunate if somebody did that. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things that you can glance at, and you'll just glance, and if you see it's open, you'll be like, whoa, like that's a major thing. But if you glance over and nothing seems out of the ordinary, you won't even notice. But yeah, all it takes is a little glance.
Can we see what you're looking at? We can't see. We're only seeing the back tires of the trailer. Let me see what you got.
Yeah. So my current, like I can't put my phone on here because it's overheating.
Oh, you're just waiting in line. You're at the company. Never mind. Okay. I thought you were at rest area. You're not. You're not at rest area. You're probably are you picking up or are you dropping off?
Picking up and dropping off.
Oh, okay.
So I have a delivery for them, but at the same location, I'll have to pick up a new trailer.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So since it says something, you may not do that all the time. I mean, it doesn't take long to test out the kingpin. All you do is you just, how you say, you leave the parking brake. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get this in straight. You probably you put the trailer parking on, right? And then you put the tractor in drive to pull on the kingpin to see if it's locked in or not. Just a little bit, like, okay, got it.
Good job.
And that's the other way that you can do it without actually getting out of your truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah. You don't even have to get out of the truck. Yeah. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So let's just say hypothetically someone did stupid thing on purpose. So what damage can anyone cause here?
So in that situation, the front end of your trailer is going to hit directly onto the ground, and that's it could bust it open. And if it busted open, that whole trailer is pretty much gone. And then the other thing is, of course, your landing gear. It'll land on your landing gear so hard that it could end up breaking them. And so you won't be able to jack the trailer up because your landing gear are broke.
That's right.
So there's a few different. Here we go.
So you're talking about really big issues, big problem.
So the trailer is built on like a skeleton. You got like the skeleton of a trailer. And so if you were to break a piece of that skeleton, then most likely what's going to happen is any little bump on the road could cause it to fully break, and then your trailer will actually collapse in a weird way that you would think that trailers can't do that, but I've seen them where they collapse in half, like in the middle. They actually split. Yeah, and most likely it's because it had been dropped at one point on the front end, and it caused it to, put a lot of pressure on the back or on the middle, and so it ends up snapping.
Just like the Titanic.
Yeah. Have you met anyone? I mean, you probably don't deal much with truckers, but have you ever dealt with someone you're trying to say something, but you found out they don't speak English?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of truck drivers, like the guy in front of me. I actually just talked to him, and I had to use a translator because he wanted, yeah, he wanted to know where to check in at, and yeah, I was like, you got to check in right here.
So how the heck? Okay, you know what? Let me ask you this, Wolf. Why is it so difficult and hard? You guys drive for hours and hours on the road. Why don't you guys have like a USB thumb drive and just plug it into your radio into your radio. Yeah. And then they could have like a couple of lessons. You could listen and practice. It's not that hard.
Now, I know one thing for me, I study a lot of different subjects. I study like economics and stocks and crypto and stuff like that. But what happens is I try to do that pretty much in the middle of the day, because if I do it in the beginning of the day, I'll get tired really fast. And then if I do it in the end of the day, I'll get tired. And so you got to proportion it, because although all you're doing is driving, like that's a lot of mental power that you're putting towards whatever you're learning. So I get that, some people don't want to sit there and learn all the time, because then they'll be fatigued while they're driving. And so, that's also
listen to music. Just it's easy. Something, let's say, hi, how are you today? I am here today to drive my truck. Something like that, like a statement, like questions and answers. Just follow. That's it.
Yeah, I think that no truck driver should have the excuse of I can't speak any English. They should at least. Yeah, I don't have the time. No, you got the time, because all you have is time. Truck drivers have plenty of time to do anything that they want to do.
Do you believe some of those truckers, where some of them, because I watched some of the news, they got their driver license, let's say from sanctuary cities or Democrat states like California? I mean, how the frick they got those licenses? And another thing is, you go to the motor vehicle and they said, which language you want to take the test? How dumb can that be?
Yeah.
You're in the freaking United States. You're in America. You're supposed to learn English. I mean, I went to other countries, and you know what? They're saying, and they tell me, I said, do you speak English? They said, no. And you know what? I can't say anything. They're in their own country, and I'm supposed to learn their language. But here, some of them, man, I know a family been renting in my cousin's house for over 15 years. The woman, they knocked on her door. She doesn't even say one word in English. How is that possible?
Yeah, I have a buddy that's he's here illegally. And the crazy thing is, he's been here for 20 years and he doesn't speak English.
How is that, man?
I have no clue. I'm like, buddy, come on. And he can speak enough to not good enough to hold a conversation, but good enough to understand some things.
Are you kidding?
And so, yeah, I'm having to use a translator with him, and he's been here for 20 years.
Wow.
He doesn't even have anything back in Mexico.
This is insane, man. This is insane. If I go to Mexico, I bet you guarantee in 1 year, I will learn as much as possible to get around.
Yeah.
It's thundering.
Yeah.
I haven't even left the country, but I still practice other languages like Spanish. I try to.
Yeah, Spanish is good because it's mostly spoken in here. English, Spanish, and other. I mean, that's how it is. Anyway, guys, listen. Wolf, you have a nice, safe trip. Be careful out there. Reina, likewise. I need to get the heck out of here. I got work. I gotta go work on Chinese servers. I'd rather work on American servers like HP, Dell, because I usually work for in a data center for banks, But
Wow.
we got a couple of new clients as Chinese servers, and I'm like, oh gosh, no, it's a punishment from God.
Please be safe.
I'm gonna drink coffee till I drop.
Don't drink too much coffee.
Please don't.
No, I'm teasing her. She keeps saying that be safe, be safe. So I said I'm gonna drink as much as coffee till I drop.
Bye.
Adios.
Alrighty. I'm gonna get on the other one.
You going to the app?
Yep. I'm gonna have to restart it though, so it doesn't glitch.
All right.
Cause I've been here for 3 hours now.
Yeah. See. No, it says 4 hours.
No, mine says 3. Well, it's probably about to be 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Well,
You put the work in today.
Well, I've streamed for 11 hours. So this really isn't the longest that I've streamed. So, but I will see you.
All right. I will join you on your other one.
Okay.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Alrighty, guys. You know the drill. I don't have to repeat it anyways. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, comment, and like, and share my content so we can get more amazing people here to discover this channel and to interact, and hopefully praying that they get in the box, okay? If you're shy, you can turn off your camera. And when I'm live, you can also point your camera to the QR where you can support me. Always grateful. If I'm not streaming, you can do it through the link that's in my bio on my YouTube. It's always, no matter either way, I'm always grateful for the support. Always pray for everybody. And, well, I will be waiting to see if Trump will be going to a game or some sort. We'll see. If so, I will broadcast that. But until then, know that you're loved and wanted. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay safe, please. Stay safe. God bless every one of you, and thank you for tuning in.